continue.
In
Yeah,
theory, we're going live. I'm
Molyneux
just
one, wasn't it?
doing some rudimentary testing, but in theory, should be live in a couple of seconds.
All right. It was the Stefan Molyneux one, wasn't it? The layout was actually quite impressive. It's kind of multi-layered. You can see how many layers that's got.
There you go. In theory, we should be live, but it's still saying the stream's offline. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
People don't look till
Nope,
later.
it's coming up. We're good. We are definitely good. I'll go to events here, and get my little text box in here. Yep, there we go. Muted. Hey, what do you know? It looks like I actually have some sound quality here. Rock on. Okay, add screen cap, and we have our little commentary from like a while ago, but whatever the fuck. Doing this.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we are live now.
Well, since we're live, have I been away from your discussions for so long, or have you got a fake beard on?
No, I've got a beard. It just grows when it grows.
Holy shit, I didn't even notice. Look at that beard. Look at that thing.
I haven't seen you for a week, and suddenly,
It grows fairly fast.
Generally how it works, Cliff.
Yeah, you know. Sit there and chill for a little bit and play some Minecraft. And this is the thing, is you spend a lot of time down in the mines going around deep in underwater trenches trying to find these vast ravines that are buried under, little lumps of stone in Minecraft, and you grow a beard while you're down there. It just happens. My story, and I'm sticking with it.
and it's
Yeah, it's a gamer beard, very definitely.
Especially with the plaid shirt.
Oh yeah, I've been going around with that axe, hacking down trees, punching them occasionally, because you have to sometimes just punch down those trees.
Grizzly Adams.
So you're not trying to pull off the aged hipster look.
No.
No, his beard's not ironic enough.
Apparently my wife would shoot me for that. I don't think you guys are necessarily able to pick her up when I'm using this mic, but incidentally, I should probably state that I am actually, this is a new headset that I'm working with. It's a Jabra 935 wireless headset, normally used in like call centers and stuff, and it seems to have decent enough quality on it. So that's the thing.
I don't know if
Red
Red the beard is here, but Red, are you going to kill him for being the hipster or having the beard for too long?
Hipster.
Okay.
But yeah,
Have you tested the battery yet?
No, I still have to do that. I still have to run a 12-hour hangout to see at what point it finally dies. Because this thing is supposed to have a 12-hour battery life. We will find out.
So
The closest competitor only had 6 hours, so we'll see.
I'd love to know when it starts cutting out in the battery charge when you go to the kitchen.
It doesn't. No.
No, I mean when the battery's low, generally you'll have more interference. I wonder how long that.
Well, that is kind of a possible thing. But the thing that I noticed the other day while I was sitting around and dealing with Redline is I apparently can walk all the way back to the bedroom, and I could be cuddling up with Red Bull in the bedroom while on a call. And I assume there was no real difference in the audio there walking all the way back there. Of course, when I mentioned that the other day, people were like, oh, yeah, so you can... I'm like, dude, I'm talking about cuddling, just, laying down with the head on the shoulder. What the fuck, guys?
Yeah,
That's
talking
what
about
we call these days.
not squeaking springs.
Our squeak, we don't have springs this creek, so... big old comfy pillow top mattress.
Oh, not duvet. Oh, shit, what do they call those things?
Your memory foam.
Put on.
Guys.
We start getting creaking, it means that the wood's giving way.
So,
Oh, the
Or
wood
very
of the
vigorous.
bed frame, that is. Yeah, okay. What are you face palming back there for? Epic face palm in the background. There we go.
yes.
Yes, a red face palm. Good to see.
Oh, Jesus.
But-
Oh, Lord.
But one of the points of this is there were a couple issues I was having with the old one. One of the issues with the old headset was that I couldn't wear a hat. And seeing as there were times I wanted to do the shaman hat thing, that was kind of a problem.
You are a hattist. You're wearing indoors.
But yes, I can actually wear a hat now on this, which means I can be immediately dishonest because I'm wearing a hat inside. If you remember that bullshit argument that we heard a while ago.
I could wear my Philadelphia Eagles hat indoors today because and feel surprisingly smug because they kicked the ass of the Patriots.
Patriots are kind of good at losing.
No, they're not. They're 10-2.
Well,
they were
okay, hang on.
Today, though.
The Pats have actually, from everything I understand about them, because the thing is they always sucked as a team. And what would happen is every once in a blue moon, they'd sit there and they'd be doing great all season long, and they'd get to that proverbial finish line, and then they'd fuck up royally.
Yeah.
Now, they have won a couple of years recently, so I almost should start cutting them slack. But being the old hometown team that always fucked up, we had beat the Bears, and the Bears sat there and slashed our asses. We had, what was it? It was like fillet the fish for when we were going after the Dolphins. That little bottlenose bottled us up good tight. This whole kind of thing, the usual sports rhetoric. And we just kept getting our asses handed to us time and time again. So.
What's your team?
I was actually from New England, so we had the Red Sox, we had the Patriots, and we had the Celtics. Now, growing up, the only team of these that was worth a damn was the Celtics. And you notice I didn't even bother to mention the Boston Bruins, which is hockey, because don't give a shit.
Bruins are really fucking good, though. Just gonna say.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is the Bruins have always been a fairly reliable team. The Celtics for a while were a great team and fun to watch. The Bruins are never that fun to watch. I mean, they had some decent games, but it was always just like, okay, they're playing hockey. Unlike with basketball, that it would be a serious game. You'd sit there and it was always the Celtics and the Lakers going back and forth for the longest time, and then Bird retired and the Dream Team with Kevin McHale and all that kind of went by the wayside. And at that point, the Celtics just went downhill horribly. But, they weren't the let's kill everyone on the team thing. They were just playing really fucking hard, busting their asses out there, and it was always a really good game when the Celtics were playing. The Bruins just like, skate around, take a shot, miss, skate around, block, But most of the games, there weren't that many points and this and that. And I don't know, it was just unremarkable to me.
Talking about hockey.
Hello.
Yes, hockey.
Oh, wow, I go for 2 seconds and a billion people show up. Hello.
Just real quick, I want to apologize for the shit fest that I accidentally started on G+.
You didn't start that.
Oh, that was called
David. Don't.
I
Jackie,
literally just logged on and I dropped that message like 4 hours ago and I went and did other things.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that would happen.
Jackie, do not take any of this.
Let me cut in for a moment. Is this pertaining to Gus playing Gus of Duty earlier?
If that's how you want to describe it, then yes.
Well, you can add head to the end of it if you want to be childish.
Jackie, please don't take any responsibility for that. Don't even try because none of it is yours. We were talking about, as you saw, a behavior thing, and then Gus came in and as if somebody stomped on a nerve of his. And
look, it's a fan. Let's shit on it,
It was a semi-constructive conversation until that point.
And by the way, your post wasn't wrong. You are incorrect when you say this community is sort of dead. It is. It feels like it feels like it has no life.
It feels like there's tumbleweeds.
No.
The problem is
the supposed great debate community has been, so to speak, dying, or in its supposed, so to speak, death throes, and zombified for quite a number of years. I mean, there was a brief resurgence, I should say, of life around the time the whole precept thing came in, because all of a sudden there was something new on the table. We knew it was fucking wrong because it's like, you believe in God, and you pause for a moment, you're like, actually, no, I don't. You sit there, and even if you bother to reflect for a moment, no, I don't have a God belief, sorry, fuck off. So it's wrong, it's just how do you illustrate the fractal wrongness that is precept? And once we had that argument stomped into the dirt, then it goes back to, okay, we're bored with everything.
And really, all this come down to is just people slandering each other a lot of the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't people-
Yeah,
hasn't
well, I
everybody-
think, I mean, I understand that, but I think it's like even more dead now because of all the changes that Google has made to G+.
Okay, every
It feels
time
like, it
every
feels
time
like there
Google makes massive amounts of changes like this, they fuck everything up and the community goes, "Oh fuck." The problem is, and this is part of the real issue, if you once you say click yes to that new Google Plus thing, you don't have an option on the left bar where you used to click on the little down arrow and go to Hangouts. That little Hangouts thing under there, it's gone. So now you have to go to Hangouts .google.com or something like that to even get to
yeah,
that
I
section.
got that. I got that.
So most of the
Just-
people
it
that aren't
seems like
as
drive-
most people that aren't as tech savvy can't fucking find it is the problem.
Right. Right.
I
Like
think it
finding
was
your
really the
YouTube,
advent.
comments in your messages. I don't think anyone's ever found that since YouTube hit it.
There's no YouTube messages anymore.
Yeah, there is. It's like some people claim. And...
Well, not the G Plus messages. I
Okay,
meant like
Google.
YouTube
Okay, hold on. I just got muted by Google, and my hands were off the keyboard.
Google hates you, Headless. If I was Google, I'd mute you too.
I wasn't even touching the mouse.
Well, that's how it was me.
Anyways, what I wanted to get at is that.
And then before Headless.
Are we on air or is this?
Oh, we are.
Oh, we're
let me-
live.
Hang on. Let me. There we
I
go.
think the advent of Hangouts ruined this community because people can hash their shit out instead of making like 20 videos. Like,
Okay,
took a
hold on,
different
Jordy.
what?
Jordy, you're partially right on that. What originally happened was they took away the reply video on YouTube.
And the reply video was honestly the most effective way to get your name out there and to get people to actually look at your shit.
Right.
So they fucked all the smaller channels. Because what you had to do is you had to do your due, spend your time in the trenches trying to find all these videos to do a response to just to get your fucking name out there. And now you can't do that. Everything that they put in further fucks the smaller channel.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
from
real
there,
time is great.
We
Sorry, real
lost
time is
we
great.
lost Blog TV,
Oh,
Yeah.
so people stopped doing that as a group thing. Then we came on to Hangouts, and you're right. People now sit on Hangouts all fucking day talking about garbage
Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
Cliff.
because they don't have to make a. In this, basically,
It's like
Hangout.
24-hour news.
Yeah, and it records. It goes right to your channel. You do nothing, and it's like, oh well, it was in a Hangout. There's like an 8-hour Hangout to go watch now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
you
think
need to
there's
go
the-
watch my videos. I was like, dude, you're not doing videos. You're doing 8-hour fucking hangouts. That's not a video.
And I think like the passion was lost when people realized that they didn't have to like put the effort into the video and just could do
You can
Hangouts.
just-
I like
you can
Hangouts.
just say it, and it's there, and just try to refute me.
Well, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing with Shadow Heathen. I was actually putting the effort into to make properly produced videos. And what frustrated me, I was putting all this time in there, but how do you really get the newer audience? How do you really get those hits and what have you? Either you sit there and make ponage videos, which I can't stand having to do that, although I do on occasion because you almost have to. It's like part of the fucking YouTuber charter is you occasionally have to put some kind of ponage shit out there. So occasionally I do some of those, but it's mostly to showcase, assholes, so people are warned that they're out there.
I just haven't been able to make high quality videos because I've been moving around a lot this year.
But the main way these days, because, like Headless was saying, the video response is gone. So unless you want to go apeshit lurking in comments thread and annoying people enough that they click on your profile to see who the fuck you are and then check to see if you have videos, which kind of requires you getting their attention by being an asshole, quite frankly. But so either you go around deliberately being an asshole to get the attention, or you go to Hangouts and hope that somebody watching says, oh, this guy seems interesting, let's check him out. So, I mean, now pretty much the only way to get the attention is to go to these insanely long Hangouts and commit, 2 to 4 hours of your fucking life to stupid shit you don't give a crap about just for the sake of trying to get people to watch your content.
Hey, technically, when I go to Nadia Hangouts, it's just for white noise. Okay.
Well, regardless.
I think you misphrased that. I think you mean shite noise.
There we go.
Like back when Brian
Oh,
was.
Cliff, you ever hear of a white poop?
Yeah,
Okay,
Back-
Paranor, I got a dumb Minecraft question. Why is one of the droppers in a false state when all the others are in a true state?
Is it being powered by something else?
The torch is blinking.
Yeah, I'd have to see it to really know for sure, but
Okay, I'm gonna try something here.
is it powered? I mean, look, is it saying it's...
Okay, it says triggered false. The one above it says triggered true. The one below it says triggered true.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like it's being powered. Like when you... Is this for an item elevator?
Yeah, this is the item elevator on this
Okay.
I think I found a fucking problem. The hopper was locked.
That can
So they
happen.
were all backing up in the and then they were just sitting
Yeah.
on the floor despawning.
Shit. Yeah. There's a lot of hoppers filled. Yeah. Was it because the bottom dropper got locked or stuck with one item?
Let me fix that. Oops.
That can
The
happen.
items are
load
blinking.
unload.
There, I got
Now.
click, click, click.
Yeah. Yeah. A locked hopper will do it, but sometimes in a load unload chunk, when the unload happens, a hopper itself can lock itself and not flow items in.
Okay, I got it.
That's a
I got it.
possibility.
All right, it's false again.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it will be because it's moving things up and down, right? And it usually goes up to two dispensers or droppers at a time rather than just one. So,
Okay.
but away from Minecraft.
All right, yeah.
The
Go.
comment
go.
disabled the
I'm
live
gonna
streaming
go
thing.
hang out with Kevin now. Bye bye.
The
Bye.
comments
Okay.
disabled while
This we
live
got-
streaming thing is actually really kind of irritating. Because, I mean, heaven forbid you actually run a regular Hangout. You can't have any fucking comments unless you're live streaming.
Yeah.
That kind of pisses me off because whenever I see comments disabled, I'm like, oh, broadcaster has disabled. That's so dishonest. Well, you don't have a fucking choice now. So, I mean, I can't understand somebody not doing the standard live stream thing anymore.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I'm actually streaming this a little bit differently than normal this time. So some of the comments from the last couple of sessions are showing up, but whatever.
And plus, I think the only people that use G Plus are the people from the Great Debate. No one else from any other YouTube community ever talks about
Not
G
true.
Plus.
Not true. I've actually seen non-Great Debate things.
me too.
However, they were doing them as basically a 1-hour show.
Well,
Panel gets together,
No, I
discusses
wasn't-
something, and it's over.
I wasn't talking about Hangouts. I was talking about
Okay.
G Plus in general.
Oh,
G Plus, essentially, as much as people are unwilling to admit it, is a dead service. And the only people who use it are the people from Great Debate or people who absolutely have a distaste for Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of G Plus itself, it sucks. I mean, G Plus is crap. It honestly is the only thing that's worthwhile that came out of the G Plus thing is the damn Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because that's the one thing that in the new G Plus isn't showing up. You have to go to it separately. Because, heaven forbid the one thing that people fucking like actually be something they keep as part of their infrastructure.
Yeah.
And I think now that they revamped the live streaming function, I think even less people are going to be doing Hangouts, and they're just gonna doing things through Skype.
Well, the thing is,
the live stream function.
I started off streaming that way anyway. Because I'd rather do it that way. But Hangouts made it easy so every Tom, Dick, and Harry could do it. And honestly, some of those hairy dicks really needed to be off the fucking internet to begin with, as far as I'm concerned. But Heavy. Oh,
Hello, Heavy.
He waved.
Hello, Heavy.
Hi, y'all.
How's it going, man?
Hey.
So they're
How's it
still
going?
fucking with the new headset. Might have to. I'm gonna have to actually go back at some point later and review the sound on this to see how it comes out. Because I don't know. As I said, I'm fucking around with it. It's brand new, so I don't know.
Audio sounds good here.
Yeah, it looks like it's okay on the stream, but I'm having to project more than I necessarily should to get the volume levels that I want. So I might have to tune it up a touch so that I can just talk a little bit more normal and do those dulcet tones. Yeah, that's going to be too soft. Okay. Let me adjust that. And the dog is whining at me, obviously. Oh, let's see now. Let's adjust my volume a touch because I feel like I'm talking way too loud.
I also think I think a lot of people who started like Hangouts like a long time ago and just didn't get a lot of people who are actually sort of grandfathered into it like a long time ago. Like I think a lot of those people just learned they grew tired of how Hangouts ran or how Hangouts ran. Like back when Brian was running them, everyone was like, "Oh, Hangouts, awesome!" Yeah. And now people are like, "Ah, Hangouts." Ugh.
Well, it's what.
It's also the new toy.
Yeah.
It replaced Block TV died. Then we had, what was it that came on? The Vaughn Live. And that sucked. Then Google Plus Hangouts. You could have 10 people in here.
Well, Vaughn has nobody.
The new toy. So everyone shifted over, and then they found the problems with it. Now they don't like it.
Well, the problem is all things YouTube related are 10 to 1 with the next closest competitor in terms of market share, in terms of live streaming.
They have a monopoly. They may as well have a monopoly.
Yeah, so as much as I can't fucking stand it here and would much rather someplace else to do this shit through, this is where the audience is. Now, granted, I only have 2 fucking viewers, which reminds me, share the fucking link, guys. Come on. It's going to be a slow night. It's a Sunday.
People come back from the
Well, it's also, I'm also an hour early. Normal shuffle time when I do them is usually around about 10:30ish, so I'm actually 10 to 10:30 range. But yeah, so I'm like a half hour to an hour ahead of schedule anyway.
Yeah, I think that this Hangout thing is pretty cool. I get a kick out of it myself because you can get together with people and see each other and talk and do things and share web pages and videos and stuff.
I think the main criticism is that it's not as productive a medium as reply videos and things like that.
I think my dog wants my attention. I'm not sure how I've determined this.
Oh, good thing Jackie's not in here. Well, actually, no, she could use some puppy dose for.
Oh yeah.
I do hate they got rid of the reply videos. I thought those were so cool. Because sometimes someone do one, then someone do a reply, and you can go through all these, and it would be awesome. It would be hilarious.
Yeah, but the problem with that was it could be abused, and there were people that were called reply girls, and that's what they did.
Well, I think that they had a thing
they made a reply video,
and
then you'd watch it, and they would get views, and they added nothing to a conversation.
And they were just doing their own shit completely. They were attaching a video that's completely unrelated. Yeah,
right. All it was to generate a view for them, and they got views and made lots of money.
Well, everything can be.
Okay, I got one for you. You know how they fix that?
They haven't.
That's the one thing that I really hate. I think people should do it because they enjoy doing it, not because they want to make money.
So no one knows how they fixed it.
How do they fix it?
Hangouts.
Well, wasn't there a thing where you could approve or disapprove, not let it get posted, in other words?
Okay, so replies were removed.
Moderated.
Reply videos were removed because Google said that the click-through rates weren't as good as they wanted. They said it was very low, it was in the single-digit percentages, and that had nothing to do with the reply girls, and that wasn't the reason they were doing that. The reason, how they fixed reply girls and reply people in general is they added something called retention onto people's videos into a new statistic, and that basically took away an ad view if someone didn't watch the video to a certain point.
Yeah, it was
retention is meaningless in the TLDR community in the atmosphere.
Well, no. It was like 10 to 15 seconds worth. It was a short amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to want to watch. If you realized it was a reply girl, you'd stop watching within 10 to 15 seconds.
And your attention would be very low, and then they wouldn't get the ad revenue for that video.
Yeah,
It screwed people over. And actually, the new service that they actually put up recently, it's called YouTube Red. The way it works is that the way it works is you pay 15 bucks a month. I'm pretty sure it's like 10, and you would essentially be putting money into a pool, not even of your subscriptions, just a pool. So like every YouTuber's ad revenue would get like a tiny little bump. And if you're bigger, then you get a bigger bump. If you're smaller, you get a smaller bump. But you're getting like what's the word? Viewer money, basically. And like the way content creators hoped it would work is that whoever you were subscribed to, if you watched more of their content over time, then they would get more of that $10. But it's chucked into a pool for all the users and everybody who's subscribed to this content, this like exclusive content and YouTube music and in this non-ad revenue sort of place, it goes in this stupid pool, so everyone gets a tiny little bump. But if you're a smaller channel, it still doesn't matter. You'll get a little bump.
Well, I mean, the problem is these days the way to promote your channel, now they've gone away with things like replies and this and that, is you basically have to pay them money to put you one of your videos in ad rotation. Which, you know, I really hate that, and it's kind of a greedy bullshit thing to do. But I might end up coming at the beginning of next year, actually say to hell with it and do that. That's part of what helped with getting G-Tar to spike in his, is he had his shit advertised for a while. And it was annoying the piss out of me because I'm like, this is not representative of your content, asshole.
Well, I hate to say it, but YouTube went downhill for the content creators when they went business.
They're also trying to get more professional, stylized kind of content. You know, there are people that make content that can actually get on a certain list of people that are preferred providers and this kind of stuff. And, yeah,
the trouble is, I don't think most people know what professional content is.
I fucking don't. What do I know? I just use puppets and a green screen.
Unfortunately,
and a headset that doesn't make it sound like I'm talking through a tin can.
And the thing is, I agree with Paranorton.
Heathens, you've never made a 7-minute video while at work, being interrupted by customers.
No.
Let me finish. Trying to make an announcement for an upcoming hangout, and the entire video should have only actually taken 2 minutes. However, you kept walking away from the camera to go deal with somebody, coming back and complaining. People keep walking into the store while I try to make my video.
Well, actually, the point I was making is that in addition to doing Hangouts, which to me is just fuck-off content, I do actually occasionally try to make actual content. Now, granted, my talking head stuff is, you know, these 2-minute little blurb gray line things, but even they have a higher production value, so to speak, than most of the crap here, in that I write a script.
And it doesn't have to be high production value to be high production value. I mean, you just have to be, you know,
a decent camera and a decent mic is enough.
Decent camera, decent mic, a decent host. Who? I'm not going to use you as an example just because you're here, but Mate, okay, when he was doing his meeting of the minds, holy shit!
Excuse me, I have to go kill the dogs. Keep going.
Okay, there was a reason in the dialogue. There was a respect in the dialogue, and there was snark when it was required. But it didn't devolve into this childish name-calling, wham, 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 I'm offended, or I couldn't have my way by, you know, just accepting what I say as, and that's it. There's nothing like that. You know, you want to toss ideas, you do, but he doesn't do it in a mentality of...
Well, okay, hang on, though. The thing is that there's a lot of, especially in the early days of YouTube, I know you're kind of a late arrival here, Para, but in the earlier days, now this was, of course, you still had to do videos. The videos were limited initially to 10 minutes. They later increased it to 15, and then gave people through partnership the ability to make even longer. But without partnering, and even with partnering, initially you're still limited to 15 minutes as a partner and 10 without, or something like this. So they were all fairly short videos. And what would happen is there were some people like Edward Current, etc., that would sit there and he'd make his little props, he'd do his little video with props, and he'd have a script and this and that. And you'd have these people that are actually sitting there and doing scripted content with, he'd put on his little God helmet thing and do a little gag with him touching the antenna of the receiver of it and getting zapped and all this other crap. And, all these weird little jokes and these fun little bits. But there'd be some actual production to it, meaning there was some effort put into it. And then you had most of them that had subpar equipment. You couldn't understand half of what they were saying. The sound levels were completely fucked, so you'd have to sit there. You'd be on one video that the person would be screaming the whole time, and go to the next one, and you couldn't even understand them what they were saying. So and then you go to the next one, and they look. You can't even tell if there is audio because you have to crank it all the way up and then strain your ears, and then it automatically goes to the next video, and you're like, "Oh, I'm deaf." You're atrocious.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking atrocious. And people because of bad mics. It was horrible.
Yeah, one of the things I try to do with my with the videos that I produce, I try to make sure that the balance is even.
Yeah.
Because I've seen videos where you've got someone who's done a clip show kind of thing, and you've got one that's blaring your ears off, and another one is quiet. And it's like, so you have to turn it up a little bit, and then blah, again.
Yeah,
yeah, but that also comes down to understanding what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like Heathens, and I'm going to pick on Heathens because we've all seen his living room here. Okay. You got a background.
Yep.
And just on camera, it looks cluttered, even though we really know it's not as cluttered as it appears.
No,
because we don't see depth in it. We just see the clutter, the color field behind you.
The different colors, yeah. And honestly, today it is fucking cluttered.
Yeah. But there's other people out there I've seen. They're sitting at their desk. They've got a ratty old chair they're sitting in. They're not dressed very well. They're obviously either half drunk or half tired from work. You could see their kitchen behind them with all the dirty dishes. And it's like, you're trying to make a point here.
The amusing thing about it is...
This is why I've always asked people if their bed is made.
With the exception of the dirty dishes, I thought you were talking about Von Hilton for a second.
Well, any of them like that. They take absolutely no pride in what's around them. They're making a video. What you have behind you becomes your set.
Oh, yeah.
Like Cliff, you have this green curtain thing behind you.
Yeah.
That's your set. It doesn't matter if that's the window behind you and that's just the curtain, or if that's a room divider you put up to hide whatever's behind it. It becomes a set.
Brian had the void.
Yeah, Brian has his black curtain of void. Heavy has.
But in my case, I'm inviting you into my living room to pull up a seat.
Right.
I have a toy store and an unmade bed.
Yeah, but the point is, though, you have something back there that's not. We can't see the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't see dirty dishes or empty cases of beer laying by the door. And are we live, by the way, Heathens?
We are live. Yeah. We're
okay.
Oh shit! Let me hit the button. Sorry, I forgot.
No, hold on, because I'm gonna say the guy's name first.
There.
Okay. Are we now on?
We have been on. I forgot to hit the button.
We have been on live.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to hit the little tag up there.
I won't mention who I'm actually referring to with all of this, but this guy got hounded and trolled and hounded and hounded. And a lot of it was because of what he said, how he said it, and how he appeared. He put no effort into his videos. Well, you got to put effort in if you want people to watch you.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, when I switched over to Shadow Heathen, I started basically treating it more professionally than I had with some of my older content. And that was kind of the difference when I was dealing with like Scientology and this kind of stuff back in the day. I was being more professional in how I handled it, in that I was going through the text and doing the highlighting and all this other stuff and doing prep work and writing scripts and this kind of thing. And then I just started getting lax and just starting doing kind of fuck off videos. Now, I still do those. They're called the Insomnia Shuffle. These are my fuck off videos now. Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, I try to care more about the production and try to make them, more of a big deal and putting all that effort into them. I've kind of stepped away from that a little bit right now because that channel's kind of screwed because, you know, I'm restricted to 15 minutes and those videos take 23, 25. You know, they're not 15-minute videos. When I compress them down to 10, 15-minute videos, the content suffers. I can't cover a third of what I want to. Which sounds weird because, you know, 15 versus 23, that extra, you know, 7, 8 minutes makes a huge fucking difference.
Hell, 30 seconds can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with 15
Depends
minutes,
on
it's
the
15
person.
minutes and up to 59 seconds, so you can go a little over. But
Actually, that may have also been something too. Back in the day, something DPR mentioned to me was, you remember how you had the 10 minutes and 15-minute videos? A lot of the early atheist videos were usually 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 5. Even though they could make a longer video, they said what they needed to say in 2 to 3 minutes.
well, and this is the thing is
Then on the flip side, you went and saw a creationist video, and they said everything that they could say in 2 minutes, in 15 minutes, and they just basically repeated themselves until the clock ran out.
Yeah.
Department of Redundancy Department.
Well, I mean, hang on though. I mean, the thing is, back then, this is why videos used to be scripted as opposed to now that there's a lot more freeform.
Right.
Okay, now with a gray line, I write down the notes and the key things that I want to cover in the video, but I have to do it in 2 minutes. I try to do them 2 minutes or less. They absolutely have to be under 3. 2 minutes 30 is too long. You know, they are supposed to be short, quippy little videos. You'd be fucking amazed how much effort and how many takes you have to do to get it down to that. I mean, I have old copies of the originals of these that are, you know, like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and I do the first draft, and I keep doing it over and over until I get what I need. It's either that or script it out, and I don't want to script those because they need to have that feel of I'm just speaking off the top of my head. Even though they're rehearsed and they're rehashed and you go over and over them to get the video right.
Here's a question. I don't know how many people have seen my videos. You know, the little rants that I've done here and there or whatever. How many of those do you think I write scripts for?
I'm willing to bet you didn't really write a script for any of them.
I write a script for everything.
Really? I figured you'd put down your cliff notes of what you need in there and then just cover that.
No, I actually write a script. You know, I speak to myself a little bit and then sort of say, yeah, that sounds about right, and I type it out, and then I sort of formulate it. So I end up having a script. So even though I'm kind of looking around like this, I'm kind of doing that deliberately so it doesn't look like I'm reading a script.
But I mean, the thing is, if you either do a script or if you do it basically Toastmasters style, that you have essentially your little cue card with the points that you need to cover over the course of the video, you're going to have a much better video than just sitting there rambling. Now, the problem is, now that anyone can do a fucking longer video, most of the videos that are being made these days are just rambling pieces of shit.
Yeah. But that's the reason why I write the script for the, you know, for the specific ones. Hangout ones are completely different. But when you know, the cycle camera ones are different. But the ones that I do, you know, like, for example, do you remember the one, my On the Case video about Oreo cookies?
The only one that I can really remember in terms of yours is the Jason Burns Shark Attack video.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, that was taking the footage and just adding a little bit on the end of it.
Yeah, yeah. But either way, there was some thought, there was some production that went into it. There was some editing involved. And, you know, that's all you really need, as opposed to, you know, just some idiot prattling on for however long it takes.
Well, my Oreo cookies video was just a comedy one because it's basically one of those silly rants about, you know, it was the Oreo cookies slogan, you got to lick it and dick it, you know, dunk it and twist it kind of thing. And it's like,
lick it, dick it?
No, you don't. Sorry, I will eat them how the hell I want. And
of course, I'm thinking nipples immediately here, sorry.
Yeah.
Cliff, did you say dip or dick? Because it certainly sounded like...
lick it, and dip it.
Well, sorry. Hold on.
And twist it, and we're talking tits here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hold on. Paranort, we are live. This is recorded.
Yes.
Go back and find out later.
It's still the Insomnia Shuffle, so we don't give a shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I seriously, honestly heard dick. Dick.
That's fine. Penises have now been mentioned. You're done.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Let me just be doubly clear. No, I didn't. I wasn't thinking dick. I don't know if I said dick. You know, that was a Freudian petticoat, I'd say. Anyway,
you may not have. Sorry.
But the whole principle of the video was like, you know, I do not want to be told how I should eat cookies. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna add a bit of comedy in there, and I know I'm gonna eat them like the Cookie Monster, and it was just, you know,
Love that video.
in there. And it wasn't something I was trying to take seriously. The one I did, the apology to Fiona, I did, again, totally scripted out. And as I'm working through my little script, other ideas pop to my head, so I type those out quickly as well. So I do a kind of rough draft, and then I work out what I'm going to say, and I chuck it in Notepad, and I basically just scroll the wheel as I'm working my way through. And not only that, it also, because it's on a white background, it gives me a nice clear light aimed at me as well from the monitor.
Ben and Jerry's looking dick, what?
Sorry, just me being just a punk.
Okay, so it's me and you watching the stream then, okay.
Yeah.
And Prudent for a moment there before he decided to come in because we were talking about penises. Hi, Prudent.
Well, I wasn't even paying attention. I just
Yeah, it was a joke. Deal with it.
Can I bring it back a little bit, just like a tiny bit?
No.
Back to
no,
what we
you
were talking
can't.
about. Anyways. What people forget is that sometimes this YouTube is an entertainment medium, and in a lot of cases, YouTube is a lot of people's primary entertainment medium. So a lot of people don't want to come here listening to garbage.
Yeah.
I don't have TV. This is my reality.
I mean, that's very much true, is, you know, I mean, people do give a shit about the quality of content and this kind of stuff in terms of what they're watching. Now, the problem is getting some of the content producers to actually bother with this as well. But this was the thing for a long time, and it's funny because I have to get back into it in theory because they just finally fixed the fucking volume gauges. They work again now, finally, in Hangout. So they hadn't for, you know, what, 3-4 fucking months. So I stopped screwing with it. What I used to do is before going live, I used to always do sound checks and try to equalize everyone's volume and this kind of stuff because I gave a shit even though it was a fuck-off show.
Yeah.
Oh, they do work.
Well,
nice.
it's the value that it's the things that you don't see that you're not going to be complaining about later, which could be a make or break for some people because you're not going to be wanting to hear someone friggin' screaming their head off at full volume.
Or at the same point, you know, you sit there and there's a bunch of people, they're in a hangout or whatever, and they're just doing kind of a fuck-off thing, kind of like the Insomnia Shuffle, which is just kind of my fuck-off thing. But there'll be one person in there, which is the dominant speaker, that's taking care of, you know, most of the heavy lifting, the one that's in there asking all the interesting questions or whatever that's spurring the conversation, and their volume is so low that you can barely understand what they're saying. So you have to sit there and you're part of the audience, you have to crank it all the way up to hear what they're saying. And then people start responding, you have to turn it down really quick. That's not pleasant to listen to.
No.
We're professional.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, 13, so you were talking about the puppets. I thought you might be interested to meet my new one. This is Hugh.
Is that a manatee?
A walrus.
Yes.
His last name is Jack.
Cool.
Oh, that is so cute.
A manatee.
Wait. Is it a manatee or a helper walrus?
No, it's a manatee.
Yeah.
Do you see the wrinkles in the nose? It's a manatee.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. No, sorry. Wait a minute. It's hang on. It's
Oh,
helper.
manatee.
It was helper seal, and what was the walrus?
It's helper seals, translation walrus.
Translation walrus. Okay, I knew I had that wrong.
Never find one.
I thought it was translation purposes.
No, that was research purposes.
Research purposes.
And of course we have. If you ever do find a wombat, that's a social justice wombat.
Yeah, I need to find a wombat puppet at some point just for the hell of it. But
An angry wombat at that.
well, of course it's a social justice wombat, so of course it's angry. It's angry about everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just saw the I thought, I just thought humanity. Someone mentioned humanity, and I thought, humanity.
Yes.
That'd be a fun puppet to, fun plushie to have for the
Oh,
comedy.
humanity!
And the punchline is, I just got the joke when he said that. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. Fuck. Wow, I'm off my game today.
So
Humanity.
I just realized, you know what would be awesome, 13? If you had an animator, you need someone to animate that Lenny and Prudent thing. Hi, Prudent.
Jackie, just saying.
Yeah, Jackie's busy though.
Actually, there is a cartoonist in my collection of humans on here.
Ooh.
And they were talking about wanting to do the, video web comic kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, give it a shot. And I shot them a chapter to look through, and they're like, but you don't know how to describe the crap out of everything, so I don't know what to draw for the background. I'm like, I don't care what you draw for the background. Make it the fuck up. Oh, I can't do that. You need to describe the crap out of it. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Not doing it.
I can open a Flash and just see if I could mock something up real quick. It'd be really funny to get that epic hangout.
Well, I mean, this was for the sake. Actually, I threw them the first chapter that I read in Short Story Theater, which may be coming back once I get back to the main channel. We'll be going to a different story this time, and because I'm almost ready. Because Reddit actually requested that the next character that I do the background for be Corbusiani, and Corbusiani, there's a lot to his because. Well, honestly, I don't know what the fuck Tazalum's like. And I had to figure out what the fucking world was like and all this other shit, because other than it being the home world of GodNet, I never bothered to spend any real time on it, so we'll see. I'm starting to actually get that hammered out in my brain, so we may do that. Well, yeah, I've never run a role-playing game on that planet, so I've never had to worry about it. Nobody picks Tazalam. Tazalam's a place you go visit and get the fuck off of before you get eaten. Okay, we can do that. But seeing as I finally figured out what the fuck a Thalgrodon is, which is funny because they're referenced 5 times in the book that Rose is in the middle of editing. The Thalgrodons are mentioned several times, and all I've known up to this point is that they have fucking scales.
What I realized
that's because they're vain and they're worried about their weight.
Actually, the only reason why I knew the only point about the scales is that they're sometimes incorporated into armor, into body armor. So beyond that, I didn't know fuck all about any of the shit other than there's this animal that has scales. It's used in body armor. Fuck off.
What I realized, 13, is with your new headphones, Red is less noticeable from far away.
Actually, she's pretty close right now. But yeah, this
you can barely hear her. You used to be able to hear her from where she is.
Oh yeah.
I would have to speak really loudly for you to
can hear you now, Red. Hello.
Yeah, she has to scream at me to basically be heard.
Yeah.
Because it's not an area mic. It's not omnidirectional at all. It's, as I said, I mean, this thing's made for call centers and shit. So it was kind of costly, but apparently it was worth the investment, and I seem to be getting decent sound quality out of it. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, got someone else we're talking to if it's topic change point. Did anybody see Scarlet Fiction's new video with Veckel and conspiracy theory nut stuff? Wow.
No.
Yeah, apparently he thinks it's controlled demolition because of World Trade Center 7.
No, all you need to do is go to...
Oh my god.
Oh, hang on though. Something to keep in mind though. Edward Current, who incidentally is a really great satirist, and when you take a look at his channel, it said that he did satire, yet people would comment on his videos without even looking at the channel to realize they were satire and take him deadpan serious, even when he was saying the dumbest fucking shit just for lulz. And
when I first found him, I wasn't sure.
The end of his run of videos on here, and this is a shame, the point to which he said "fuck you" and lost basically all fucking hope for humanity while making his videos was when he did a 9/11 related video, very, very photoshopped in a spaceship. I mean, we're talking, your generic flying saucer thing, and said, "Look, see here. There's this. You can clearly see a flying saucer here. This is what destroyed the buildings on 9/11." And the conspiracy nuts ran with it and started incorporating that as a conspiracy, even using a clip from his video where it showed this flying saucer that he photoshopped in, and claiming this was proof positive that there was alien involvement with the towers being taken down. That was pretty much when he said, "Fuck it, I'm done with you assholes."
He also photoshopped in explosion going off in Building 7 before it collapses. Well, if you slowed it down and looked at the pattern, it was a happy face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, again, the truthers took it and ran with it. We got proof of explosions. It's like, no, you asshole, look at them.
But I mean,
you're shitting me, really. I mean, you're just making this up. Right?
No.
He did.
I need to see
making this up.
Someone needs to point.
Okay, wait. I need to point. Hang on. I need to point out a couple of things in terms of the conspiracy theorist kind of movement. And this ties into all these kind of bullshit things. Now, the number one footage of Bigfoot that's out there right now is Teller in a Bigfoot suit tromping through the woods. The reason why we know that it's Teller in the suit is because this was featured on Penn and Teller's bullshit. They actually did a fake Bigfoot video, shot their footage of it, put it online, people went nuts with it, and then even after they did the bullshit episode, and after people are pointed to the episode, they still insist, oh, no, Penn and Teller are lying, and that's legitimate footage. There was another guy a number of years ago who, using this as a demo of this 3D modeling software, actually took a scenery and used the 3D modeling software to edit into the image a flying saucer sitting there looking like it was flying over this little bit of town. There's some telephone lines and some other shit. And when he sat there and came out and said, no, this isn't real footage. I did this to demonstrate the utility of this software and how seamless it is, doing yada, yada, yada. People were still claiming that it was a legitimate UFO, even after the guy came out with it. He then did a follow-up video in which he sat there and said, okay, fine, fuck you, and had this old couple sitting there playing with like a joystick or something like this, and put in the background this little flying saucer flying around, and then instead of it being proof of flying saucers and aliens, it was proof of alien drones. Because these people are so determined to run with their horse shit.
Was that the one that had like three flying over and they were very silent? And the only sound was someone going, oh! And then there's lots of palm trees in it.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Oh, that was so awesome.
Yeah, and that was on a 3D modeling software. It was to show how seamlessly it could be done.
Yeah, and he went back and said, look, this is fake. And here, look at all of the palm trees that you see. They're all the fucking same.
And people didn't give a shit. Yeah.
I need to see this video.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it was incredibly done.
Oh yeah, but this was about 2 years back now?
Yeah,
it's even longer because Captain Disillusion made a video about it, and Captain Disillusion didn't come back since like last year.
Yeah.
Look, they are right in what they say. That's all that matters.
There's one I saw recently of a plane landing in Germany, and all of a sudden this is getting ready to land. It transforms, transform type thing, and he's sitting there holding his crotch, and he's looking around like, where's the bathroom?
Somebody can find the link and send it to Cliff at some point. I'd love you to do so, but it's been so long, I wouldn't even know where to look anymore.
Just type in palm tree UFOs and you'll probably find it.
Or hoax UFO, or 3D modeled UFO, or something. I don't fucking know.
I'll give you another example, too.
Hey, Lobster, do you want to actually come in, or you just want to sit there and lurk in comments, man?
Anybody
You're like
ever
the only
seen
person watching.
It's the archaeologists that are digging in the pit, and you got the giant skeleton laying there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of creationists and fundamentalists take that as proof of the Nephilim. What they fail to realize is that was actually just photoshopped for a contest. A Photoshop contest. That's all it was for. The person who created it
Here's another one.
Created to actually go anywhere, do anything. It was just...
Yep, that's the one. Hang on a second.
Oh, that was good.
Hang on, let me get the screen up on this right quick. Okay, and give me 1 second. Add screen region. There we go.
I'm just talking and muting myself.
And
There was
I'm going
one-
to have to adjust my fan on this. Give me a second.
There was one of an eagle. Someone was filming and it flew down over a park and grabbed a kid.
Here you go. This
and
is the video in question that I'm putting up on the stream right now that we were referencing earlier. And they put that right amount of blur in there to make it look like it was shot with an actual camera and this kind of stuff. And they did some great job with the effects, but it was a hoax.
Mm.
And the thing is,
By
even
the way,
after the guy
there's,
came out and said it was a hoax, it was like, oh, no, it's real. And they're just fucking idiots.
By the way, is Lobster got a join link?
Send him one if you'd like. I thought that I'd actually included him, but what the hell's this shit? Give me a second. I have to adjust my fan speed on this thing because my computer just got pissed at me. Well, no, the fan's on. It should be fine. Oh, the clock just jumped. Okay, it looks like it's back to normal now. Never mind. Not sure what the hell that was. Yeah, my temperature looks fine. Take a look at the temperature.
Yeah,
Not running a fever.
Some people have no idea what real and fake look like. I mean, it's like the whole 9/11 truther thing, you know. It doesn't look like a plane crashing in a building. Well, what exactly does, you know, an airliner crashing in a skyscraper look like? Because we've not really seen it very much. What does
that's the thing.
not real look like? How do you compare?
People are forgetting to ask the fundamental question: is this correct?
Mm.
They just gullibly
Careful.
suck it in.
Yeah,
Suck it in.
Well,
There's
I
a
mean,
video-
okay, hang on a second. I mean, because there is a point here. Because there is truly a point at which you have to ask yourself. You have to say, you know, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Are we caught in a landslide, perhaps? I mean, is there an escape from reality? I mean, these are important questions.
I seem to remember
Will you do the
similar
bam
lines-
bam go?
I seem to remember similar lines being spoken by Jason Burns because someone sent him a message and said it in such a way that, you know, he also did the opening bit from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as well. You know, I was born on the west side of Philadelphia. I was raised there. And so on. So, but yeah, another example. There was a Thompson 757, I think it was, took off from Manchester, had a bird strike, and you know you can see out the back going as the engines, the compressors conking out, and it's just backfiring all this fire out the back of it, and then they just shut the engine down. You know, which is the standard operating procedure, and it flies around in circles for a couple of hours and then comes and lands because they're trying to dump the fuel, you know, burn off the fuel. And people are like, yep, fake. Well, what does exactly a bird strike on an engine look like? You know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have watched movies and they think, yeah, that's what it looks like, you know. And the thing about it is you can actually have different variations of them as well, because sometimes you just get a big sort of pop, like the engine goes. Just a black.
It depends, like a gunshot, it depends on its trajectory through the engine. I mean, you can get shot close to an artery and 2 millimeters more and you'd be dead.
Well, hang on. I'm going to jump in with something else a little bit. I'm going to reference the unspeakable thing that happened in the community so many ages ago. Dramagate. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, the thing is, there's a point at which in this community so many people will do things that are, you know, fake or whatever to kind of check how credulous people are in this whole kind of thing. So, but the problem is we get to the point that we become almost too cynical about shit. I don't know how many of you know who Truth Surge is, but he's done a number of videos in which he's sitting around playing guitar. Very talented. He can really fucking play. But the first video he put up with him playing, I actually took a moment to pause going, is he really playing this? Or is this just another gullibility check? And I actually was sitting there watching his fingering on the guitar and this and that because I needed to, you know, I wanted to make sure before I complimented him. Because he gets to the point that we are so quick to go, oh, this is fake, this is real, this is fake, this is real, that you start sitting there with all these false positives in terms of assuming things are fake. Incidentally, send Lobster a link if you would, Para. I don't know if you have yet.
Actually, heathens.
I was just typing.
Thank you.
The conspiracy theorists, and this is why I was saying careful here to Paranor. You're right, they're skeptics. But it's when do you stop being a skeptic at the evidence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a skeptic one piece of evidence further than you are.
Mhm.
Also, you.
Well,
also,
hang on though. I just want to point out.
I do want to make this
Okay,
one point.
go for it.
To be a good, you can be a skeptic, but if you're not skeptical of yourself as well at times, you're really not a skeptic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also still, once again, that's also in line with what I was going to reference. In one of my videos when I was talking about channeling, actually, I think it was, I did a little gag with Fundy Fox and Skeptic Squirrel, which of course are puppets for anyone that may watch this that hasn't watched the regular content on the Shadow Heathen channel. And so obviously there is literally a hand inside of their head whenever they're speaking. And I have Fundy Fox, which is, the really gullible one going, do you ever feel like there's a hand like reaching up and massaging your brain and like making you say things? And Skeptic's like, you're a fucking moron. Regardless of the fact that there is literally a hand reaching up and being his brain. So, and this is to kind of point out that, well, it's important to still be skeptical, Skeptic Squirrel and all. There's a point at which you need to step back and go, maybe let's think about this before we come to our snap judgment.
Yeah. Well, here's this image I was talking about, how you just see the engine popping.
Well, honestly, Cliff, looking at that, it does look like it's been edited in. The problem is, that is what a flash out of the back of a jet engine looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a gap between the visible light of the flame and the engine. So it looks like a poorly edited job. And that's why people yell fake.
Well, well, shoot, let me get this button right.
It's like a blowtorch. You ever look at the flame of a blowtorch? It doesn't touch the tip of the torch.
Yeah, and like the space shuttle, I was watching a launch, really cool thing, of the space shuttle, and where the engines on the space shuttle kick in, there's a glow, but you don't see the fire until about 10 or 15 or 10 feet back from the actual nozzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? But then they explain why it does that. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
There's actually a really, just on that subject, but, the space shuttle, there's a brilliant piece of film from IMAX, and I can't remember what it's called. It was like Beyond the Skies or something like that. I can't remember. It was, anyway, but it was about the space shuttle. And there's a bit in it where it's the space shuttle taking off. And it's very sudden, the noise. But you can turn the volume. If you've got some really nice speakers, it just gives you such a sense of the power. You whack the volume up, and don't do this at 3 o'clock in the morning, but at 4 o'clock in the morning like I do here. But you just get this sort of... They start the ignition process, and they basically got a sparkler going and loads of sparks so it can ignite the fuel as it gets poured out. And so you just get this, then it goes, and it's just this whoof that kicks in, like when you turn the gas on and it ignites, you just get this woof noise.
Yeah, and those
it's called The Dream is Alive.
The Dream is Alive, thank you, yes.
Yeah, those sparkle things is to help burn up any stray hydrogen or whatever.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Don't want to go boom too early.
No. Or boop.
No boop.
No boop, apparently, yeah.
And hello, Lobster.
Okay, I guess my audio still is working. I didn't see my green bar for a second there. The headset was prior to going online.
Oh, look, it's a lobster.
Hello there.
Where's the matter?
I have too many on-off buttons and adjustments and this and that in the headset that it kind of throws me a little.
I don't know. I heard the word manatee earlier, and I got hungry.
I don't usually get hungry to manatee. I usually get hungry to things like dolphin. Anyway.
Don't eat the tuna.
Ever since they took the dolphin out of the tuna, it just doesn't taste the same.
Yeah, it really doesn't. You're right.
But you can still get your dolphin fish.
Yes.
The only time that I've been squeamish about food was when we lived in Germany. We went off to this sort of town on the north coast, and they had like this little tour guide thing where you'd go to various fish shops. They specialized in fish, and so you went, there were like 10, 15 shops. I can't remember how many it was now. And you'd basically work your way down the street, and every single one specialized in a different kind of fish product. So you'd have squid and octopus and things like that. And we came to dolphin, and it's like, I can't eat dolphin. But sort of little boy comes around the corner, Flipper, where's Flipper? And Cliff's just eating him. I couldn't do it.
Yay, yum, Flipper.
Yeah, but it wasn't dolphin. It was dolphin fish, or what's known as
it's usually actually dolphin fish, mahi-mahi, something like that.
Yeah. By the way, I got a message from Hillary saying hi.
Oh, okay.
She says she's too tired. She's feeling sleepy, so bedtime.
That's perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Jordy that left earlier. I saw the little blue thing pop up, but I didn't catch who it was.
And Prudent left soon after.
Yeah, well, Prudent keeps bouncing in and out. He doesn't know what's going on. It's like he comes in, he's like, I have nothing to say about this. I'm leaving. So, yeah. It happens.
Fake it, Prudent. Fake it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Learn to fake it. That's half of being what a good host is, too.
Well,
if you get off track, you got to make filler.
We have hit the 1 hour mark, and let's see now. Do we have something worthy of comment of the hour? Edward Kurt, Illuminati Truth. No. Gretchen is a Squirrel, one of my favorites. How dare you? I've spoken. Well, Shadow wasn't even there. Yeah, that was actually fun when I did that bit. The one cult night in which I actually had Skeptic Squirrel do the hosting. I'm tempted to do that more often. On puppet interviews.
Hey,
that was fun.
Yes, please.
Heathen, when you were doing that thing about Edward Current a little earlier, did you see the video where he literally lost his shit?
It was at the Truthers.
And you said, basically, I'm fucking done. Yeah. I saw that video, and I was like, wow, shit.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that side of Edward Current, because I was like, holy shit, I thought he just was just a...
Will the real Edward Current please step forward? And that video he did, yeah.
Personally, I wish he'd come back. He was one of the first atheist videos I ever saw when I became an atheist. I saw an Edward Current video, and I started to go like, God, this guy's a funny asshole. What the hell is this shit, right? Then I realized, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Hey, Lobster, did you ever look at his YouTube page?
Oh, yeah.
All around it said, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Then all the fundies were always like agreeing with him when he was pretending to be a fundy.
Yeah.
And then one day when it finally came out, it was satire. There was always somebody in there saying, read the background, he's been lying, he's not a true Christian.
Every once in a while, you get a young Christian that finds an Edward Current video and uses it as, I don't know, proof and evidence or something.
Jesus is bad for America.
Yeah.
I am so tempted to point.
Jesus wants to take care of the poor. That's called socialism.
Josiah McLean, he's just gullible for that.
But
the kid who tried doing the precept argument.
Okay. Remember, everybody, if anybody ever says to you, what would Jesus do? The only reply is flipping tables and whipping people.
Okay, that works.
Oh, baby.
I'm up for that.
Actually, no, I have to make an amendment because that's not entirely true. Because he didn't simply get a whip and whip people. He spent the time to say, okay, I'm annoyed. I'm going to walk away from here. I'm going to leave. I'm going to get some leather and some bits of metal, and I'm going to actually braid myself a scourge and then go back there to whip the crap out of them. This wasn't an act of passion. This was premeditated.
Anticipation.
I have a perfect. You might want to highlight this thing because I think this is a perfect one that illustrates it. Which is, you got it?
Sometimes when I'm faced with a tough decision, I think to myself, what would God do? And that's all
Then I
I'm
go
saying.
on the rampage.
Then I go on a
drown
genocidal
people.
rampage. Got it. And actually, on that note, I think I should probably screen share something else on the stream here. Give me a second here to do my screen cap on this.
Would you expect anything less?
Now, for me, though, as a little bit of an experiment, here we go. Let me bring this up on the screen here.
Oh, I love that one.
This is one of my personal favorites that I came across a little bit of a while ago. Now, the interesting thing is my kids weren't really raised in any kind of religion. So as such, you know, my daughter looked at this and immediately saw the T-Rexes. My son looked at it and immediately saw the T-Rexes, even though he has a little bit more of the desire to lean towards theology. My wife, it took her like, I don't know, like 5 minutes. It took me about 3. The amount of time you spent within religion seems to be directly correlated to how long it takes you to see the 2 T-Rexes that are fighting over the running table saw.
I had to have it explained to me.
Yeah,
That's
oh, I'm sorry,
weird.
you had to have it explained to her, I
Actually,
forgot.
Took people minutes to figure this out.
Oh, it took me a couple of minutes. I had to actually explain it to my wife because she's like, I see nativity, I see nativity, I see nativity, because she'd been so trained to see nativity.
Huh.
Part of this even is the figures that would be the 2 people looking at the table saw. They're not very well defined in their shape.
Yeah, they're silhouettes, yeah.
Because
Yeah. Well, no, but even the faces and like the shape of the face, that's what we really recognize, and that's why they do look like T-Rexes.
I have a Christmas
well.
ornament that looks almost exactly like that.
I see ponies.
Yeah. Cliff, it's what's called change blindness.
Yeah, it's. Do you see the old woman or the young lady in that
Yeah.
one image, right? When they flip.
Yeah.
Have you seen the gorilla walk through the basketball game?
The
Yeah.
what?
yes.
The gorilla.
Oh, dude,
No.
someone got me so good on that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Change
and
blindness.
I said, watch it again, and watch it again, and see if you watch it again, and you'll see the gorilla. What gorilla?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so amazing.
It depending on our experiences and our basic, well, may as well say the word conditioning towards certain things, we will see what we want to see, hear what we want to hear, like with the whole licking dick earlier, right? You know, first.
What are you saying, Paranoid?
And then, oh, shut up. And then, I'm a big perv, you know that. I'm a tease
Well, okay,
too,
hang on.
but-
A guy I used to work with used to, instead of cursing, use a phrase Jesus on a popsicle stick. So do we want to incorporate that into the licking dick thing?
I don't know. Have you had your wafer today?
I don't know, man. No, I haven't eaten cardboard lately.
Now here's a question: a Nixon popsicle.
Oh, a licky dick instead of a tricky dick. Love it.
Nice.
Oh, I think that joke has dated too much, but to make it useful.
Actually, enough of the people in this room are old enough to remember Tricky Dick, so. Actually, we kind of have
Look,
the
if
old
you're-
crowd this time.
Well, he was on
Look, if
laughing. He was on laughing, and when they had the doors,
Talking to me?
yeah, and he's
Yeah.
going, "I am not a crook." Yeah, he
Yeah.
actually said that.
I saw that. I actually remember that.
Yeah, that's when Richard Nixon was trying to get into the hip crowd and stuff. He was more awkward with that.
Yeah, but if you're going to lick Tricky Dick, I think you'll get Watergate.
I think the nearest I got to that was the I did not have sex with that woman.
Yep. Same body language too, almost.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, obviously I don't know when did that happen? When was Watergate? Wasn't it 73 or something?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it started in
Yeah.
'71, really. I mean,
Alright,
when
well, Well, I was so not born by then.
you know, the things that we're all old enough to remember. My brother still has a Spiro Agnew wristwatch.
Oh shit. I know what you're talking about. I'm not that old.
So he'd have to pay somebody to take it from him, right?
He goes, it's going to be worth something someday.
So are Star Wars figures.
You know, I was watching, I've never really been into Star Wars because when it originally came out, the Star Wars stuff was for kids, right? If you look at the old Mattel toys, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other day I was watching these old commercials on YouTube just looking for shit. And I came across these old Star Wars commercials, right, from the 70s. And they were all little kids playing with these Star Wars toys, these action figures, right? And I'm like thinking to myself, you know, geez, when I was a kid, you know, this was a kid's toy, right? But then I thought, well, these kids have grown up now and they like their toys a little bit better, you know? So, yeah.
I'm just going to point at Heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hell, even Robert M. Price, Dr. Price, has a lot of figurines and quote-unquote toys on his mantelpiece, and he's had them on display during interviews.
The thing is, when I was younger, you know, if you were a Trekkie, you know, I mean, we used to make fun of Trekkies because that was like a, you know, and
was
people
not a Trekkie when I was young.
Yeah, nobody was.
Trekkie is an insult.
Yeah, and
a well-deserved one too.
And it was the same thing with the Star Wars thing. I mean, I remember for a long time, Star Wars was the answer to a trivia question, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, because when it left the first time, you know, it had been out for so long, I didn't know anybody that really gave a shit about it anymore, you know. And then boom.
No, I'm glad I was always a bit of a Whovian.
What's a Whovian?
Someone who watches Doctor Who.
Oh.
You
you want real losers there, like in the whole spectrum of sci-fi and stuff. Yeah.
You know that Disney have bought Star Wars. Sorry. Well, someone made this picture I thought was pretty cool, which is a Disney princess.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, Star Wars is kind of an interesting thing because it's like, you know, so many grown-ups when they started coming out with, you know, the first three, so to speak. You know, not the first three that actually came out, but the first three parts that were released years later.
Oh, the prequels.
When the prequels were coming out, though, I mean, there was this one guy that I was working with at the time who was going absolutely apeshit over it, and I'm like, you know, this movie's probably still going to technically be a kid's movie because the first three were really made for kids. And, no, because we've grown up and it's going to be made for because they know their audience. I'm like, no, they really fucking don't.
No,
and then you have fucking Jar Jar in there, and people are like, raging and all this other crap. I'm like, you know, but do the kids like it? Because this is for the kids. Oh, well, no, it's not for kids. I'm like, dude, it was done for kids. It really was. Oh, I'm like, dude, the guy that did the voice for Yoda had been Grover and used the same fucking voice. Think about it. It's Grover. It's a little green fucking Grover, dude. What the hell's the matter with you?
The thing to bear in mind, I mean, there's one of these like documentary things. It's called The People versus George Lucas, and it's got people talking about how their lives were, you know, they destroyed their childhood when they made the prequels, and it's like bullshit. You had a childhood, didn't you? Fuck off. But the George Lucas himself says in that video that he was aiming it at the kids. He was going for the new generation that are going to go and buy the toys as well. You know.
But I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, this was fucking obvious. And people just, I don't understand how they can't get it. And the people are like, oh no, Yoda, he's this, he's that. I'm like, dude, it's Grover, man. They did the fucking Grover voice. And these people were like, no, they didn't. I'm like, yes, look it up, you idiot. Jeff G.I.
Yeah, Frank Oz, doing puppet, doing voice.
Yeah.
He also did Miss Piggy. Just remember that.
Now, could you imagine if Yoda was going, hi-ya, you know, in the new movie? That'd be hilarious, doing the Piggy thing.
Actually, he did in the prequel. He did in the prequel when he battled all the
But I don't think he was doing the Miss Piggy hiya.
You know what?
That was a joke.
I actually thought that was hilarious, where he's fighting Count Dooku, and you know what? You've got this little green thing with a walking stick, and then he puts the walking stick down and turns into a bouncy ball being thrown against various walls.
No, he turns into a cat after a bouncy ball.
Sorry?
He turns into a cat after a bouncy ball.
A cat chasing a bouncing ball.
It was so funny after he gets through kicking ass and he picks this thing up and he hobbles off.
Yeah, the hobbling part at the end. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? Can't we get rid of the hobbling at this point?
Listen. Yoda was the classic kung fu master.
Yeah, I thought that was.
That's what he is.
While I think
Walked
about
around
it,
with the cane. You underestimate him because he looks old and he's on the cane and stuff. He kicks your ass and then goes back to walking with the cane again.
One of the
you're bewildered as to what just happened.
One of the movie review channels that I watch on YouTube does this thing called movie fights, and one gag that they did recently was which Star Wars character would win the Hunger Games, and I don't remember which one they picked was the winner, but they had Count Dooku or something like this, and they had Yoda and they had Darth Vader as the three that they put in there to be the ones that they were going to be putting up as their choice of which one they think would win. And you know what? I had to actually go with Yoda because he'd actually, in terms of, just simply fucking being the survivor. I mean, he survived how long in exile on that crappy ass fucking planet? I'd have to go with Yoda, yeah.
No, R2-D2.
Oh, fuck no. R2 got blown up several times.
Kept coming back. He's in every movie.
That's because he had people rebuild him.
No, that was C-3PO.
No, R2 as well had to actually be repaired several times.
I would have gone with the boom operator.
Boom operator.
Hang on though, he got killed in Spaceballs, didn't he?
The boom operator or R2?
Oh, now we're making Spaceball
hang on. I have to point out, just as Cliff in here makes his Spaceball reference, Rictus, externally, who is not caught up with us yet because of the delay, has just made a May the Schwartz be with you reference. Love the timing.
That's good. Yeah, if you remember, that's the bit where they do the sword fighting thing, the Schwartz fighting thing,
right.
And he lunges, and you've got this guy up a ladder with a boom and goes, ah! And falls over. By the way, I found an interesting picture on the internet a while back. It's Prudent lying around on the sofa. There you go.
Oh.
I think I've seen that before. Oh wait, no, you've pulled that gag before. Okay.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm quite sure I've seen that picture before, and I think it was one of your jokes.
Yeah, you will have done. Someone in a hangout one time, it might have been a hangout, but it was how to make your own plushie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was an image of Prudent trying to be sultry, though.
With his pasty white face. Yes. Yellow. Sorry.
Yellow. Yes. Yellow in this case.
Well, it comes with the pattern pieces. That's the next picture to go with it. If you want to make a Prudent, this is how.
And not to scale.
No.
Which part, not the scale? Never mind.
Okay.
Any of them.
Something
would go there.
Something specially for you, Paranor. How about that one?
Cyberbullying.
Oh,
cute.
Definitely. I love a good doctor joke. Experiment.
And unfortunately, folks on the stream can't really see it, but fuck it. I saw a video going because I trust everyone in here anyway. Except for that damn
Cyberman going.
Hey, Wolf.
There's a guy on the radio in the UK called Steve Wright, and he used to have the show Steve Wright in the afternoon. And frequently they would make sort of little jokes about like EastEnders or something that had been on the TV the last couple of days. And one of the things, they had these two Daleks that were always having arguments. And it'd be like, leave it! Or whatever. But anyway, so one day one of them says, if you don't shut up, I'll tell everybody about your drinking problem. And the other one says, but I don't have a drinking problem. And the first one says, yes you do, you don't have a mouth. That sounds like a drinking problem to me.
Got my wife to laugh. I guess that's some progress.
Well, she's a Whovian. Come on.
Yeah, she is. She's definitely a Whovian. A new arrival, though, to Whovianism.
Ooh, and River Songs come back. Yay.
Incidentally, I do feel the need to reference that today I did send my daughter home with a copy of the Gospel.
Ooh, the Doctor Who handbook?
No, the Gospel of Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Uh-huh.
And Heavy, I think you're behind.
Apparently, one of her teachers had made reference that they thought it sounded funny, but they had never actually seen it or didn't really know what it was about. So she's bringing a copy in because extra points with the teacher.
Cool.
My brother called me last night on the phone. I haven't talked to him in 6 or 7 months. He goes, "Hey, you want to hear something funny? Did you know there's a lady in Massachusetts that got to wear a spaghetti colander on her head, something about a flying spaghetti monster?" And I was like,
that was so stupid.
Honestly,
I thought, personally, I'm half tempted. I actually have a plastic colander in my car, just in case I get pulled over sometime, and I'm in a good mood. But I don't know that I'd actually go into the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Honestly, though, if I were in one of these cases where somebody challenges it and goes to court over it, I would love to send a copy of this fucking book to the lawyer that's on the opposing side and just say, dude, please, in here, read this, tell me what and you'll find what the proper attire for a minister of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is. It's not a fucking colander on your head, damn it. It's full pirate regalia. They should have been wearing a pirate hat if they're claiming to be a Pastafarian. Fuck off.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Aren't we judgmental today?
Hold on. Is that every day of the week or just on Fridays?
Just on Fridays. That is the Pastafarian holy day. Every Friday is a Pastafarian holiday.
Right.
Cheers.
Well, that's a certain sect of Pastafarianism. I mean,
Splitter.
Actually, the split off sects, one of them would have you wearing a ninja mask instead, because there are those that claim that the ninja are the chosen ones, not actually the pirates. But that's the only significant branch off of the Pastafarian Church thus far. There is no colander heads. That's just wrong. That's just somebody saying, I'm a Pastafarian, I want to be a douchebag, without even looking through and reading what Pastafarian is.
Well, I have.
It's weird to say that they're not true Pastafarians.
I have a question. Like, Armored Christians commented to me, and I'm thinking of a clever way of insulting this bitch ass. What should I say? That you're sort
I
of
have no idea what you should just say. I'm looking across the room because my wife just took off her shirt.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, she's got another shirt on. No longer interesting. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Wow.
I was thinking of calling him a living STD. What do you think? I mean, that'd be funny. I don't know.
Who are you going to call a living STD?
The Armored Christian.
He's a Poe anyway around it.
That might get a rise at him. That's what you're looking for.
Do you think he's a Poe?
You can call him that all you want. I mean, he's just a Poe. He's okay. I did a hangout in which it was me and a room full of fucking Christians that invited him, and you can see the video in which I did this. It's somewhere on the fucking channel. But the problem was he refused to come in the room, saying, I'd go nuts talking to that many atheists, not worth my time. I'm like, dude, it's a room full of Christians. I'm the only atheist in here. Fuck off. And he still refused to come in. Even when I pointed out that he would be in a room full of Christians with one atheist in the room, he still refused to come and join. So he's just a fucking Poe.
You're just that intimidating, heathens.
Oh, yeah, bullshit.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I think the guy's just okay to open his mouth and say this, but he's not quick-witted enough to be able to respond if you actually provide him with actual evidence.
Well, the kicker is, in this room, there were Christians, yes, but they were all ready to counter his arguments as Christians. Because he makes such fucking craptastic arguments.
Well, heathens, I'm going to say goodnight here. I'm going to head to bed.
Okay, have a good one. Now that I've actually decided to reset my screen and do it again.
Take care, Pseudo.
Good night.
Night.
No, you're talking about Pastafarians. I put a thing there. The Kalam argument for Pastafarians is everything that has a beginning has a sauce.
Oh,
And I think that started with Lenny.
That's deep, man.
And with lobster, it's garlic butter.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
man.
but this is the thing: is if you're going to sit there and do the I'm a Pastafarian bullshit, you might as well try to find out what the fuck they're talking about when they're saying Pastafarian. You know?
Yeah. Well, I actually paid $1.24 for a used copy off Amazon for the Gospel of the Pastafarian thing, that book you got.
Yeah.
But my whole thing when people start when I use the whole Pastafarians flying spaghetti monster thing or something like that, and they go oh that's silly, I just do something like hashtag Kansas School Board. I mean, that's the entire reason I use it. Period. Flat out. Right.
Okay. Hang on. The very first page here. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was R.
Yeah, I get that. But I also like to include a copy of that letter that the guy who started that sent to the Kansas School Board to explain, why, how, so they just don't go, oh, that's just a silly thing, There's a reason to it. There's a point to it. Yes, it's satire, but it serves a purpose. And you can use it for any way, anything you want, just like any other fucking religion. Make shit up as you go along. That's why we here at Secular Lobster Ministries enjoy making shit up as we go along.
Hey, Gav, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while.
The balloon might be.
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
Better now.
I just realized I didn't even mute myself. That's crazy.
Dang it.
I fucking love shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, that picture you posted of the Virgin.
Oh, yeah, you like that?
Oh, that killed me. I looked at it and went, what the hell is this, Java in her dress?
Ooh, post it again, man.
It's insane.
Post it, man.
Oh shoot, I have to find it.
Okay, if you guys don't mind.
I need to get.
Okay, go ahead, Wolf.
Yeah, I need to get some pictures of the matinee on there. The manatee, the Brick King, I mean.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, supernatural explanations provide surprisingly irrefutable evidence that the flying spaghetti monster is 1. Present in the universe, and 2. Actively using his noodly appendages to spread goodness and affordable nutrition to the true believers. It is important to provide quantifiable evidence in support of our claims. As such, we provide a scientific test as proof of his existence. The test is both repeatable and easily verifiable by third parties. And the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster encourages all doubters to use the following experimental evidence to provide to themselves what we already know to be true. It has been suggested that the communion served by the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster led to better and more long-lasting nutritional benefits than, say, the Christian communion. Through deductive reasoning, this can be taken to provide evidence for his noodliness. As support for this thesis, we selected 2 subjects of average weight, height, and intelligence. We then placed them on a 72-hour fast in order to reduce outside factors. After 72 hours, one subject was given the Christian communion, consisting of a paper-thin wafer. The other was given the FSM communion, consisting of a large portion of spaghetti and meatballs. Both subjects had their vitals recorded before and after the communion. Upon completion of the test, the Christian was found to be listless, with decreased heart rate, body temperature, and brain function. The Pastafarian recorded increased heart rate, body temperature, and brain function, commenting that he felt full, which he interpreted to mean whole. Some may say that 1,200 calories of spaghetti versus 2 calories of communion wafer do not make a fair and valid experiment, and they have a point. We have sought to keep the experiment as close to a realistic communion setting as possible. But in the interest of science, we decided an additional experiment whereby each subject received the same total number of calories. Our findings were that the Christian became violently ill upon consuming 2,500 calories in wafers, or 1,250 wafers, while the Pastafarian continued to show increasing vitals, thus illustrating his noodly presence. And this is why the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I actually found I saw a funny little meme a couple of days ago that made me smile, which was on the communion thing.
Jeez, I got a rating hard John looking at that fucking picture, man. Jesus Christ.
There you go. Oh, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong just at the wrong time. Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Cliff.
And then I got the other one. There you go.
I pray I get a different part of Jesus today. The last one tasted like shit.
Now we know. Now we know it gets Cliff. Now we know it gets Cliff hard, man.
Nice, Cliff. Nice.
It doesn't make me hard. I didn't say that. I said it made me laugh.
Yeah, call it what you want.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I'm using the small icons on the stream, people can't see what y'all are sharing, but fuck it.
You do realise, Lobster, that if I watch your videos and they make me laugh, that's what you're now suggesting.
Well.
What are you going to say now? Yeah. Effectively, you just made your videos sound like porn.
Oh, you're a racist, man. You're a racist.
Actually, speaking of porn, I have two dogs behind me. One's licking his nuts, the other one's licking her. Never mind.
Woohoo! It's called.
Bestiality.
Hello.
You know
hello,
why dogs?
Stan.
You know why dogs lick their nuts, don't you?
Because they can.
Because they can.
No, it's to take away the taste of the food.
Oh. Yeah, that too. But yeah,
Sweet
we
and
kind of have a
sour.
house rule. If after the 10th lick, it's just masturbating and he needs to stop.
At least go in the other room.
Yeah, really.
Close the door like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, he might consider doing that if he had thumbs. But you know
Clean
what they
up
say:
after
you have no
yourself,
thumbs, you get no
goddammit.
lobs. Sorry, you don't get no lobster, you get no nachos. There we go. That was the commercial. Yes, unsubbed reported for dog porn. There we go. Yep. Hey, Houseway, how's it going, man? I should invite him in, actually. I don't know. I think he's on my regular list. I don't know. Nah, fuck it. Requires effort. I do not effort right now. Actually,
The only
actually, even if he could come in, I should probably say something like, "Aren't you supposed to be working on that slave labor for Redline?"
let's get the whips out again.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
I'm going to need a bit of video for my new channel. I want a new intro for that.
I'm thinking somewhere randomly on YouTube, I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to make some fake channel promoting some horseshit just to see how long it takes the idiots to start buying into it, and also waiting to see how long it's going to take somebody to bust me for sitting there and just deliberately making a fake channel.
Oh, you're going to do your own religion thing there?
Yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah, I know you'd kind of thrown that idea around. You were talking about something. Dang, I can make my own religion.
Yeah.
The Church of Perpetual, what was it?
And make it.
Oh
consistent.
yeah, the what's the
Exemption.
guy on HBO that does that?
Yeah, John Oliver.
Yeah.
Last week tonight. Yeah, Church of Perpetual Exemption.
Actually, one thing I was considering doing is I was actually thinking about starting a business that was going to be named the Stripper Factory. And what it was going to be is a business where people just refinish furniture. You know, strip off the paint and put new paint on, but we're going to call it the Stripper Factory.
The local furniture. The local furniture one here was called the Village Stripper. They got at least 5 calls a day.
Oh, okay.
About
See, quite honestly, that's what drew me to Pastafarianism itself. Right there was the stripper factories
and beer volcanoes. Yes.
the
Now,
beer
mind you, there is a
volcanoes
Pastafarian hell
and midgets.
No, hang on. There's the Pastafarian heaven is stripper factories and beer volcanoes. The Pastafarian hell is pretty much the same thing, with the exception of the strippers all have VD and the beer volcanoes only have Budweiser.
I thought you were gonna say something like Milwaukee's Best or Keystone or some shit like that.
Yeah, there was some joke I heard. Oh, sorry.
There is a beer worse than Budweiser.
Well, okay, hang on. There is an extra callback to that though, because years ago I used to frequent Harvard Square, and when you go up there every Saturday night at 8 o'clock, Pastor Corbin would sit there and take the, so to speak, center stage in this area referred to as the pit down by where the subway got off. And this is an area down by Harvard Square where you'd have the punks and the skinheads and all these people hanging out. And he'd get up there and he'd start doing his rant, and he'd start off every week with, "Get out your Bibles, you heathens!" and then go and do this long tirade. And it was very fire brimstone. This guy is a Southern Baptist up in the Northeast. And on a couple occasions, we kind of got him off his script a little bit because we'd try to throw him every time. And on a couple rare occasions, we managed to get him to stop. Now, this gal that I knew got him to stop by yelling back, "Heathens don't have Bibles!" And then he stopped for a moment and wagged his finger at her and said, "Go get some Bibles, you heathens!" Because this guy was swift. He could just pivot on a dime. He was great. To steal Mahdi's turn, he pivot there. But on one occasion, we all got copies of Necronomicon and got in a circle around him and were chanting the most excellent banishment for demon horde solely drew near him. And all he did was dove through with that finger up in the air, aiming for those nostrils and eyeballs kind of thing, and just kept going without really skipping a beat. And it was holy crap, man. It was an accomplishment to get this guy to actually stop. And I just forgot which story I was going to go with that. Fuck. Oh well. But yeah, I mean, it's. Oh yeah, Bud Light. There we go. So on one occasion, while he was sitting there doing his whole little shtick there, one of the guys, and it was sitting there in the little bit, the crowd that had gathered around him, yells out, "Do they have beer in hell?" And Pastor Corbin turns and he goes, "They do have beer in hell." And you hear everyone go, "Yay!" And he goes, "But only Budweiser." And everyone's like, "Ooh."
And by the way, you better thank Red for reminding you.
Mm-hmm.
We heard her. That's a good mic.
Yeah. That's her screaming across the house, though. But yeah, Pastor Corbin was a character. He was great. There was this other guy that would go down there that whose name was Warren, who was a hoot. And the funny thing is, the two of them, after he was done with his preaching, would sit down and have these long, drawn-out conversations. They were actually kind of friends. Warren was an atheist, very staunch anti-theist, but he and Corbin got along great when they were talking politics.
Mm-hmm.
They actually were fast friends in that regard. But when it came to theology, they'd be holding up signs while he was doing his little preaching thing, with saying things like "say it, don't spray it," Bible boy, and all this kind of stuff, just ragging on him. But the moment that his little thing was over, they'd put away their signs, sit down, and start talking politics.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. One of the things I've said, Shani, I'm good friends with Shani. And, when it comes to the religion thing, we do not, agree. Now, we respectfully disagree. We're not like at each other's throat and I'm calling her an idiot and things like that, I just say, well, I disagree and this is the reason why, and she'll explain her position. So we walk away with with a decent idea of what we're talking, what we believe and things like that. But there are other people that they can't seem to understand that, that's not all that we talk about. I talk to Shani. I mean, you talk to Shani about Star Wars and Star Trek and stuff like that. You'll have a great time. And there are lots of other things we have in common. There are things we don't have in common. I mean, like, you take, for example, we might have a conversation about gun control, and you'll have some people that will be completely against the idea, and some people be for it. But on many other things, they agree. And I think sometimes the only thing you've got in common with someone is you're both atheists or theists or, Patriot fans or,
Well, honestly,
Budweiser drinkers.
honestly, that was part of the initial inspiration for the Insomnia Shuffles. We had all these people that the only thing we could identify each other with was the fact that we were in the same, so to speak, camp in this fucking discussion. You know, we didn't actually really talk. We just sat there and made these videos, and nobody really knew anything about anyone else. And I mean, I'd hoped initially that we'd get people that were, you know, on the other side of the fence, that were the proverbial theists, that would come in, and we'd find things we could talk about with them. But frankly, the thing that has kind of bothered me about it is because, yeah, we have the Maxes and the Fionas, and Gretchen is a squirrel, and you know, several other people that will come in. And we can have and we can sit there and pal around with and joke around with and whatnot. But the majority of them, you have your Seamuses, your Veckles, and you know, all these kind of sorts, that they come into the room and sit there for a couple minutes, and they're like, "Oh, they're not talking about religion, so I'm leaving." Because that's the only fucking thing that they talk about ever, apparently. Which is funny because it's what they accuse us of. But I mean, I feel kind of sorry for them. It's like, dude, this is really all you have?
You mean we're not talking about how to destroy Christianity right now?
No, we don't give a fuck. Okay, now here's the thing that they don't get. In our regular daily walk of life, we don't sit there and spend all this time thinking about God and Christianity and, you know, this apologetic and that. We don't give a shit. This is something we come online and to recreate around, essentially. This isn't, you know, a big cornerstone in life. Most of the time, we don't even take a momentary pause to think about it, which is why I hate when they start claiming the atheist worldview. The atheist worldview doesn't exist because we just don't sit there and think about the crap they think about.
Yeah, and during the day, we don't sit around and actively not think about God. You know?
Yeah.
G-Man and Jason Burns. G-Man and Jason Burns do more of what they accuse us of by going out with a friggin' hand
I'm not gonna
blaring to the audience.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like fucking with the crazier ones with my avatars. Oh, you're of the devil.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we do this to recreate. This is sport. This is fun. This is something to do.
For the lulz.
Yeah,
it's the lulz.
But the majority of our life, we don't spend any time thinking about this until, you know, somebody sits there and tries to throw it in your face, and you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, dude, really?" And in public, that's usually the response is, "Oh, fuck, dude, really? Are you kidding me?" And that's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
It's not like we sit there and, you know, we see people having a wedding or whatever, and we have to go in there and say, "There's no God, stop praying." Oh, we don't give a shit.
You know, it reminded me of something that when Alex Botton had that barbecue thing, and you know, a whole bunch of British people went to it. You know, we were chatting about it, and you know, while we were there, we were talking. Only probably maybe 20% of the time was talking about religion and the stuff that goes on. The rest of the time, we were talking about our lives and talking about other stuff and eating food and drinking, you know, and stuff like that, you know. But we probably only spent maybe a quarter of our time, I'd say, actually talking about the Great Debate stuff, you know.
Hey, Cliff.
Yeah.
Did Jason Burns ever get raped by those atheists that wouldn't let him go to the Reason rally?
No.
Hey, Cliff, what about that one time where he said that one of his relatives shaved off all his hair and pissed on him?
The guy's nuts.
That shit was weird and funny as fuck, though.
Well, he's entertaining, man, I gotta tell you. And he can dance.
The problem with that video is that this happened when he was a child. And we don't know what actually happened, if it happened at all. I mean, the way that he was going on about it, because he was crying about it, it sounded like it was a true story. However, that's probably not the way it happened, because I don't know about most of you, but when you're only a small child, which is what he was talking about, you don't really remember these things. I don't remember being a small child. Not very much. Glimpses. But what Jason Burns has got maybe an eczema problem or scabby skin problem. I can't remember what it's called now. Emphysema, is it?
It could be. Yeah, there's eczema and psoriasis?
Psoriasis. That was it. Thank you. Well, one of the treatments for it is light ammonia, as in urine.
Yeah.
In the same way as if you get stung by a jellyfish, if you urinate on it, it takes away the pain initially.
Never see a flamingo with
There's
psoriasis.
always a plant. There's also a plant in some areas of Texas that have these really, really fine hair-like needles. It's called a bull thistle, and the best way to get those needles out is to actually piss on the damn things.
Yeah. So so what the suggestion that was given out, and Fiona pointed out because she had a problem with it when she was younger, and what people would do is they would urinate on a cloth and then wipe the skin. And probably, older brothers or uncles or whatever, yeah, when you were a kid, we pissed on you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And so he's kind of got it in his head that he was literally, someone and pissed all over him. As opposed to we put piss on you because, like I say, I mean, it could have been this kind of thing that was just done to wind him up because he was being a dick. So.
Trust me, Cliff. Most dicks are wound up to begin with.
You're in good company.
Yeah. So the idea is that perhaps, he's misunderstood the events, not remembered the events, and someone has wound him up, and he's got it into his head that a different tale.
Well, okay. Actually, when years ago, somebody was like, "You should do your life story." So I sat down. I said, fuck it. And I started trying to write this, like me talking about my life kind of thing. I didn't get that far with it, but the thing that I found is that it ended up being more of a treatise on how the mind works as you get older and how all these memories shift and change in your head. Because, I mean, that's really when you start thinking back to the younger life. It's, okay, this is what I remembered happening. This is what all of my family says actually happened. But at the same point, these memories that you hold, even when you know that they're augmented, feel truer than what you find out is the truth.
Yeah.
That and, I had a grandfather that embellished the hell out of everything anyway. So some of my stories I know have been, when you're raised around somebody that deliberately embellishes, you just pick it up almost second nature. But yeah, I mean, memory is so unreliable, but that's part of the way memory works. Because it's not like we have some file that we go to and open up and pull the memory out. It's reconstructed every time. And every time, since you're reconstructing it every time, those details are going to keep shifting. And you're going to keep misremembering details.
Every time you access a memory, you rewrite it, not just refresh it.
Yeah.
There's various things that have shown this.
Well, anyway, I was saying about the Alex Bottom barbecue thing. One of the things that, when the atheists, with the exception of Fiona, when the atheists got together, we talked about life and stuff. And yet, when Bible Thumping and Matthew 4:19 got together, they went to a strip club and stood outside saying, "Down with this sort of thing." You know what I mean?
Well, they were on camera. Well, they were off camera. They were in this strip club, masturbating in the corner while somebody was lap dancing on somebody else's lap.
Yeah, but what if you think about it, G-Man and Veckel and big guy, what's his name?
Evangelist Ken Jones.
Yeah, that was it. I was thinking slow motion Cartman. And anyway,
big guy, little voice. That guy, right?
Yeah.
Cheeseburger.
They were going to be meeting up. And what were they planning to do? They weren't planning to hang around and have a bit of fun and go and have something to eat and go to a restaurant and go and watch a game or go and watch a movie or something like that. They were talking about, well, yeah, we're going to go preaching.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that same thing. It's like, yeah, do they think about this stuff all the bloody time? Is this all they've got in their life?
That's why I've called the great debate a big circle jerk. It's the cocky circle jerk. It's a bad image, but it's...
Well, I mean, these people don't understand that, we log off, we go out, and we enjoy ourselves. And we don't really give... We don't care about their arguments. We don't care really about their beliefs ultimately, as long as they're not shoving them in our face. We don't give a shit. And why would we? I mean, literally, okay, earlier today, I got a little message on Skype from G-Man, like, oh, you know, here's a hangout. And he's not like, oh, well, we're having a hangout about such and such. Would you like to participate? No, it's just, here's a link. Like, he thinks I'm going to just click on some fucking link because I give a shit what he's talking about. And that's the thing. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, you think I care about what? I don't know what the fuck the hangout was about. I don't give a shit what the hangout was about. Why are you sending me some fucking link to your stupid shit?
He could be poning you right now, though. I mean, aren't you going to do anything about it?
Yes,
I mean,
I'm going to do. Actually, you're right. I'm going to absolutely do something about it. I'm going to go and do some more mining in Minecraft because that's so much more interesting. As redundant, as boring as shit as it gets, after hours of doing the same fucking thing over and over, I'd rather be doing that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
because
that's why
these guys are fucking boring.
Yeah, that's why, you know, there's some people, like when Skylar Fiction gets a hold of somebody and like his interview with Jungle Jargon or Captain Osimo, and he would do a couple interviews with some fundies or something. If you can make it entertaining and lulzy, you know, at the same time, you know, but when you're that's fun. I enjoy that. But just the whole, you know, when they have these debates, I just had no fucking idea why anybody was even doing that shit. Because nobody's going to change anybody's mind. You're dealing with a bunch of fundies that can make shit up as they go along because they're enlightened, you know. I don't know. I just never quite really understood the whole debate thing in the atheist Christian community, because most of the time it was just a train wreck to hear people talk.
Well, there's really nothing new for 100 years.
You know? Huh?
There's really nothing new for over 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the whole shit, you know, like I made a meme today. I found this picture of two guinea pigs in like little iguana costumes, you know, and I made a meme that said, "Hey, creationists, you know that transitional shit you've been talking about? Checkmate. Now shut the fuck up." You know. I mean, I'm paraphrasing what I wrote in the thing, but that, as far as I'm concerned, that's as far as I go with even discussing that shit anymore. You know.
Well, actually, there is new stuff. As far as science goes, there is more and more evidence showing, you know, evolution really works.
Yeah.
It just keep adding to it. But on the other side, nothing changes.
Right. But, you know, but they come back with the crocodile shit, and if evolution is true, and then they open up a jar of fucking peanut butter, you know, and if evolution is true, then, you know, you want to rape people and stuff, and, you know, so, yeah, that's why originally I had that, I don't know if you remember that picture I had of the dog in the lobster suit, you know, that was my original proof of atheism, or proof of evolution meme. It's not even worth discussing, really.
Well, I mean, the thing to remember is that this community does have an awful lot of pissing contests going on.
Oh,
you know, we don't
every community does.
Yeah, we don't do battle with swords and knives and, you know, guns and things like that. We do battle with our brains.
Well, no, we don't. We see the tide coming in and just start pissing into it.
Yeah.
But what I mean,
actually, it's with words.
There's a lot of penis waving going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to outdo this person. I'm going to do ponyship on this person. You know.
Yeah, I always love that, man. I'm going to destroy you in this debate, man. I'm going to pwn you. It's like, what the fuck is this, a wrestling show or some shit, you know?
Well,
there's a lot of... Well, there's a problem with a lot of egos around here. I mean, there's so much damaged people with their own personal issues that they're clamoring on to their own authority very tightly. You know, and the whole "I can't be wrong with what I say" comes across, unfortunately, loud and clear, and that's a big problem. And
point of contention.
Hang on, and a lot of the groups, the circles, don't police their own. And it's needed to keep a coherent group. What's the bone? Sure, act like an SJW on me. He was kidding, folks.
I think my where is it? Got it around here somewhere. My favourite picture was from Truthmonger on the point of contention, and it was this that picture. Cheesy. Oh, did you miss it?
Rob Beasley.
No.
Sorry, did you miss it, Paranor?
Beasley did come.
No, I saw it before. He's still in hospital, I believe.
I believe so as well.
Yeah, he'll be there.
I haven't been getting any weird random threats, so that's fine by me.
Yeah, good. He should be there. He's obviously got a problem and needs to get it sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you were talking about the whole idea of the atheist community and talking about different things, since the whole like atheist thing is kind of, there's really no Christian atheist war going on and stuff like that. And learning people's real personalities and what they really think about life. I've lost a lot of friends. I mean, not a lot, but some. I've been called a sexist, a misogynist, a racist. Let me see, a cum-guzzling faggot.
I've been called a duchess just recently.
Well, you're just Canadian, you know.
Yeah.
You wear that crown well, honey.
Oh, I
yeah,
haven't in the past year, but I've been with that for a while, so I've had to hang my hat. Sorry, Pat. And 13 has a very serious.
As I was saying earlier, I was saying a bit ago, sometimes the only thing you've got in common with someone is you don't believe in God.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's it.
I can't believe that some people, when they go, what's happening to the atheist community? I can't believe this and everything, and I'm like, I think, I don't know, Autopsy or something. Somebody said, well, there really is no atheist community. The only thing we have together in common is that whole, God question.
The answer may be many of us have stopped pretending to give a shit.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we're done with a lot of us are done with the debate about it, and we're starting to have arguments with the real person behind the mask, behind that section. And if Autopsy's finally asking, where's everybody, where's the thing, he might want to look at himself, because I subscribe from him.
Oh, you don't like him?
No, I didn't say that. I disagree, and it's to do with the whole racist AIU bullshit.
Oh, okay.
And I'm personally boycotting everything, all the shows, until they get over it and actually look at what's going on, not what they've presupposed. But that's me.
Well, I agree with, like I said, I don't agree with everything that anybody says, but I think a lot of times I think it's, once again, it's delivery. Just like with the shit going up here in Providence, everybody's afraid to say anything because Black Lives Matters. People are afraid to do anything because Black Lives Matters. I'm serious. It's really in the fucking news out here, and people are really sick and fucking tired of it. They really are.
The politically correctness is just it's where it gets pumped up.
Didn't Fiona make a comment earlier, Cliff, about being afraid to say stuff? Anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was pretty sure I saw it. I just wanted to thank you.
Yeah, she's in a situation at the moment where Talking to Tuesday is going on Tuesday. If she goes in, she'll get it in the neck, because if she doesn't say something about it, then she'll get it in the neck. If she does say something about it, she'll get it in the neck. If she doesn't go in, she'll get it in the neck for not going in. But if she doesn't go in, she'll get it because she didn't, because she's hiding.
Who's this?
Fiona.
Oh.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for her sometimes.
She gets dumped on so unfairly a lot of times.
She gets dumped on. I've never talked to Fiona, but I've seen a lot of hangouts. But I think, you know, she's one of the most honest people I've seen. Sometimes I don't understand her because of her accent.
She has integrity.
Yeah, she's easier to understand than phony beetle maniacs. But yeah, she has integrity, and the way that she gets treated by like G-Man and a lot of people that don't believe the same way she does, you know, or something, or I don't know. I just think she gets dumped on unfairly. Because she's a woman and they perceive that as a weakness, you know, and she doesn't bite back and get real nasty like they do. When she does, she makes those little videos, you know, to make her point.
She has integrity, which means she has a air of authority, and that's what people don't like. People like G-Man and others. But that, you know, the whole thing with Fiona, I will also add to the whole bit of policing ourselves, because I think we can do a little better in supporting people who get attacked for bullshit, no matter where it comes from.
Yeah, and you know,
not
sometimes
just people like Fiona, because she is a dear. She's a great resource.
Yeah, and she can defend herself. You know.
Yeah,
and,
but if we're a community, that means it's more than just her.
Right. Well, see, the thing is, sometimes if you come to the defense of somebody, right, you get that whole white knight thing going on. Then you got to defend that bullshit. You know, it's like, no, it's not a white knight thing. It's just the right thing to do. Or, you know, then it just, you know, I don't know.
The thing to remember is the reason why G-Man, etc., give her a hard time is because he thinks in these bipolar terms. You're a Christian, I'm a Christian, you should side with me in my bullshit exercise against the atheists. And they resent her because she won't pick sides.
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to.
Because to her, in the end, the whole religion thing isn't an issue. She has personal beliefs. Yeah, you know. And personally, I don't care what her personal beliefs are, right? You know, she's a, like, I don't know, she always comes across smart to me, you know, well prepared, witty, you know, takes a lot of shit, keeps on going, you know. I've never seen her, like, lose control either.
I've only ever seen it happen once. Maybe twice.
I think that
I wouldn't want to be around when that happens. She's very Scottish.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. Some people in this country, I mean, I'm an American, okay, but I have, like, there's Scottish and English and, you know, things that have come across the country. There are certain things in this world that are true, right? You don't piss off an Irishman when he's drinking, right? You just let him drink and shut the fuck up. Pretty much with the Scottish, because years ago the Scottish used to eat their young, you know? I mean, it's not a good thing to fuck with, you know?
Sorry, looking at properties.
Oh, yeah, I was going to back up just a moment. Oh, sorry. I was going to back up just a moment to that Black Lives Matter thing. Don't they realize how much they're hurting their own cause? Or the cause they supposedly are trying to advance?
Honestly, I'm sick of the Black Lives Matter thing because of the language, more so than anything else.
Yeah.
This Black Lives Matter or all lives matter. Now, I understand this is their way of saying, do you understand what our cause is about? But fuck you, all lives matter.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm more than happy to sit there and say that to one of these little assholes who's like, no, Black Lives Matter. And I'll be like, no, I'll get news for you. All lives matter, and black people are not the largest fucking demographic that is per percentage of capita rather, most murdered by cops. So fuck you. Stop pretending it is.
The whole
Well,
Black
you'd be
Lives
a
Matter,
racist in my
the whole Black Lives Matter thing is a created division, and we have all the evidence for it. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
Lobster, in terms of the percentage of population and the population density, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the group that is most often murdered by police is actually the mentally ill, not African Americans.
I totally agree with that.
Oh,
And this is
hard.
if you look at the statistics and then actually look at the percentage of the country the percentages of how many people in the country fit this demographic. Number one's mentally ill. Number two, right now, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but if you go by straight numbers of the number of people that have been killed, you're going to be starting off with the mentally ill, then you go to blacks, then you go to white, then you go to Hispanic. Hispanic's actually the least killed by cops right now, in terms of...
They know how to run.
Yeah, apparently.
It's that exercise, getting over that
straight by
fucking wall.
murderers, but then what you need to do is you need to take these numbers and figure out what percentage of the country is Spanish to see how well it represents within that within that. So I mean, technically, if you look at population densities, then blacks are killed more than whites, regardless of the fact that technically more whites were killed by cops.
Yeah.
But even then, the number one group is the mentally ill. So, Black Lives Matter. I got a better point for you. Mentally ill lives matter. Go fuck yourself, asshole.
Exactly.
Because
I
no
want to
one
say
is
that
talking
to
about
Rue as
mentally.
well.
No one is talking about mentally ill people that are gunned down by fucking police because they aren't trained properly. Instead of saying, they're going after black people. I got news for you. Fuck you.
No, the only time...
hang on, Pat. Hang on. The only time they go after or talk about the mentally ill is when you have a fucking mass shooting and only see the negative of mental illness.
Yeah.
It is a negative, generally, but the extreme cases... the real nutters.
But you know, a while ago when a homeless man that was mentally ill was beaten to death by the police officers, there was an article in the local paper on page 20 talking about it. It was 5 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, fuck you.
You know, I have actually had people walk away from me by just stating I have PTSD.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not violent. I have shown no violence. I've uttered or demonstrated no threat of action, and yet people walk away from me just because of the label. I mean, we love our demonization. It's part of tribalism.
Because they pick that story about how bad PTSD is, and they tell people stories about, you know, the oh my God, you know, backfiring engines and, you know, flashbacks of Vietnam and going crazy and all that stuff, right? And they have all that stigma shit from way beyond, and now they have a name for it. It's called PTSD. You're still fucking crazy as shit, but it's got a different name, and we're still gonna fucking stay away from you. That's what a lot of people think PTSD is.
Yeah, and there's no crazy in it.
The punchline pertaining to the mass shooters is, statistically speaking, these people aren't necessarily even mentally ill.
Yeah, and when they sit there and after every mass shooting, they go, you know, and this is one reason why I fucking hate social justice warriors now, is because they go, the first thing out of their mouth is, you know, if we had better mental health counseling and outreach programs, things like this would never happen.
Actually,
you know?
if we were to remove the stigma of mental illness and actually make it so it was in vogue once again to be seen a therapist, like it was back in the 80s when Nancy Reagan was seeing her shrink, then maybe the number would be reduced. They wouldn't get rid of all of them, but it would reduce the numbers, because there's a lot of these people that are just fucking fanatics, like that guy that went after, you know, the Planned Parenthood. Yeah.
And once
he was on nobody's radar.
Yeah, and once again, you go right back to stigmas and what people think they are. You know, and it's a continuous fucking circle. If you educate people about things these days, right, they still remember shit from the past of what they thought, right? And they keep they'll start putting A and B and C together, and then they'll add 13 and Q and Z, and then and add an apple pie at the end, right?
Exactly, and it's a vicious circle because we don't spend enough energy wanting to self-police.
Yeah.
You don't correct the behavior. Then what the hell is culture good for? If you're not going to correct the behavior within culture, the bad behavior. I mean, we value emptiness.
Yeah.
Right now, more than a human life.
This is actually really trippy. I just realized on the stream, it's actually at mouth level for both Lobster as well as Paris. When you guys talk, it looks really weird.
It's what?
On my little stream cam here, whenever Paris speaks, it's like the Paro lips moving.
Shit.
It's giving me Rocky Horror flashbacks.
Lips.
Okay, you moved your head. It's now beard cam. Okay.
Damn, that's weird looking.
Is somebody having fun with you?
No, if you're looking at the watch video, it's just how the background comes through.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
it's because your mouth is in line with the bar of heads on the bottom. That's all.
If people like, I've actually shared my diagnosis, my full diagnosis, with some people that I have documentation for, and it really scared the fuck out of them.
Go through Xboxes at some
I'm
point.
I'm not a violent person. I've never been a violent person. I've never. I don't hit people. I like to curse a lot.
When you talk to Xbox at some point, that boy's got a laundry list.
But yeah. But I've got a fair bit of issues, that are documented, right? I've never hurt anybody, right? But there are people that are literally afraid of me because of what I've told them about what they say I have, and what they've heard.
And it's all their own bullshit in their head because they are not educated, and then by being scared, they just don't want to know.
Well,
because
okay. Hang on, I got to actually press the heathen button for a moment here. The thing that pisses me the fuck off is that recently people have been using the actual clinical diagnosis, the term for the clinical diagnosis, bipolar, have been using that interchangeably with crazy or mentally ill or what have you, and that drives me fucking batshit crazy.
You're so bipolar, man.
And every time I hear that, I want to smack
yesterday. Yeah.
And the nearest I ever come to that is to sort of make reference to thinking, the bipolar thinking of black and white, but that's not quite that.
Yeah, when you referenced that earlier, my finger kind of twitched.
Which finger? The one you're still trying to get up?
The one I hit eject with.
Oh, that's not a good finger. That wasn't bad.
What was the comment about bipolar?
Instead of saying black and white thinking, he said bipolar thinking, and my finger twitched towards the eject button when he did so.
Oh, that everything was black and white with bipolar?
No. When he was talking about G-Man and intended to say black and white thinking, he said bipolar thinking, and my eject finger twitched momentarily. I'm like, no, it's Cliff. I know what he meant.
You know what the funniest things I've seen, just to lighten up, please, hopefully, for a minute. One of the funniest things I've ever seen pulled on G-Man was the whole red button thing.
Mm.
With J.D. Kane, talking.
Oh, it's a Staples Easy button. That's what it actually is. You know that, right?
Yeah. I know. But they could suck him into a fucking hangout and start yelling red button, right? And to this day, I think it would still get him going. I just think that's it's the little things in life that make it worth living.
It is, because
there's a little bit of a conversation going on in the external right now that I kind of want to put a general note out in relation to that's going. It looks like it's Para and Halsway and what have you. One of the things that really gets me is that he's technically right in that it really takes education to correct a lot of the bullshit and a lot of the dogmas and a lot of the biases. And Halsway's completely right. It's not something that can be really accomplished in a generation. It has to be multi-generational. because all those biases are handed down, and simply getting it to change within one generation isn't enough. It takes 2, 3, 4 generations for that to really be embedded. The things that you are saying now are not going to be something that's going to necessarily change things in your lifetime, but they might make things a little bit easier for your kids. And then what your kids do will make it easier for their kids. So it's really all about the future generations, not the current. And in terms of things like these SJWs and what have you, they are so fucking offended by every goddamn thing. Some of these people are so diehard, it literally does not matter what the fuck you say, they're going to be offended. And that doesn't help.
The problem with that is
Stan kind of nailed it on the head there. I just want, Cliff. For the most part, it's the ones who feel they are privileged and are spoiled who act out violently when not getting their own way, just from personal observation. And I don't think you're wrong in that observation. I mean, I call this the age of offense because of SJWs, because offense has value. Why?
I want to buy the world a Coke and keep it company.
Bad for your teeth, Josh.
I like to buy the world.
What I think it comes down to, I think people are fed up of being told no, and I'm talking about the, you know, the that exactly the thing we're talking about, the entitlement thing. You know,
well,
that
hang
I don't
on, though, hang on,
told no, so I'm now going to make you feel bad for telling me no.
Actually, hang on for a moment. Hang on for a moment. I got to cut in with this. I absolutely have to at this point, because the thing is, as I say, things are multi-generational. Now, at the dawn of my generation, before the current one, everyone was being taught. It was this whole everyone's special was the message. Because before that, we were all just being treated like gears and the cogs in the fucking machine. Then it's everyone's special, everyone's special. Well, I've got news for you. Everyone might be unique, but not everyone is fucking special. And this morphed even worse when we got to the next generation, and now we have indigo children's, and now everyone's a super special snowflake, and you have mothers writing letters to their congressmen because, well, they were in boot camp. That mean drill sergeant said something mean to them. Dude, he gets captured by the enemy or what have you, they're going to be doing a lot fucking worse than that. Get over yourself. Fuck off. You are not some special little fucking snowflake. You are equally special as everyone the fuck else out there. And when everyone's special, no one is special. So go fuck yourselves. Get over yourselves. Get on with your life. Develop some fucking coping skills, because if you develop some goddamn coping skills, maybe you won't feel the need to get that AR-15 and go on a fucking murderous rampage.
And unfortunately, you become ripe pickings for politicians and religion, because when you think you're special, you play right into their game and mindset and cause a bigger problem. That's why U.S., I think, has been said as dumbing down. They're not becoming dumbing down, they're just becoming more childlike.
However, I do have to make a comment to the chat, because Halsoid made the comment, however, I am special. And I've got to disagree, because you're not nearly as special as Rictus is.
Exactly.
And I think it comes down to what Robin Dupree does, with the whole Christian persecution tissues, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
How dare you tell us that we're not allowed to subjugate you to our thinking? It's that same kind of, again, entitlement. I'm more important. My feelings are more important than yours.
What did Hitch say? You're offended. What's your point?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something right now about Robin Dupree Reed and her persecution stuff.
Hang on.
They're killing trees for her Kleenex.
Hang on. My feelings are more important than your First Amendment right, is effectively what's being said in many ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
No,
even
but I
then,
have a
hang
First
on
Amendment
though.
right.
In terms of the whole First Amendment thing, the freedom of speech, I need to point something out, though, that the whole idea of the First Amendment wasn't, the ability to go and scream fire in a crowded movie theater. It was about political speech, being able to be dissident without being prosecuted for it or persecuted. Basically, the most patriotic thing you can do as an American, in accordance to our fucking Constitution, is to criticize the government.
That's all about free speech.
Yeah.
But it was to protect people in terms of political speech is why it was there.
Yeah.
But I think people have got this kind of same mentality for all sorts of things now.
Yeah. The age of offense. SJW mentality has infected culture itself. Therefore, it's going into every aspect of it.
Oh, and incidentally, Rick, just get over yourself. The reason why you're special because all your organs are reversed internally.
Hey, wait a minute. Rictus is special.
No, he's special. All his organs are on the wrong fucking places. That makes him pretty damn special. He's biologically special. He's worth study.
Yeah. He's Titus and Burgess.
I still don't think Rictus has been the same since he got rid of that hat.
Yeah, well, there's that.
There's something else as well, though. I keep hearing people talking about social justice warriors. My channel started off as a social justice warrior point. You know,
advocate.
There's a difference between advocating for social justice and being an SJW. People that advocate for social justice see an injustice and say, you know what, this is a problem, we should do something about it. Social justice warriors run around insisting that everything is a fucking injustice and everything needs to be the way that they want it because that will lead to their perfect fucking utopia in which no one's allowed to say anything about anyone. Yeah, fuck that. It's a total different mindset. You know, I do believe that, you know, there are social injustices and they should be addressed. But at the same point, I'm not going to sit there and tell everyone else that they're a piece of shit because, you know, X, Y, Z bullshit fucking reasons. Because, I mean, okay, social justice warriors. Let's point to Dougie here, who I was actually giving G-Man bullshit about you saying axe. And I kept trying to encourage him, you know, speak properly, use proper English, you'll be able to get a better job, people will take you more seriously, yada, yada, yada. And you have this dipshit going, you're racist because you're picking on him for that. And I'm like, dude, axe is not exclusively a black fucking term. I've heard white kids say it, I've heard Spanish kids say it. This is not a white thing. And
watch the Maury Povich show.
Then he gets pissed off, and this is where it gets great. And he says, you know, I haven't heard you giving shit at people in your hangouts for saying y'all or ain't. And I'm like, dude, what do you think? Y'all and ain't are a fucking exclusively white thing? What the fuck is the matter with you?
Christ. He ain't too well in the head. Y'all agree?
Now, granted, whenever I say y'all, I tend to say it mockingly because, you know, Texas.
You know, you do have quite a few. Let's not be racist here. White people that these days like
just say it, honky motherfuckers. Go ahead.
Yeah, that like to act and talk and say things like "Let me ask you a question" and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not exclusively a black thing anymore.
No, it hasn't.
The question is though. Since G-Man is such a blunt tool, why is he always asking people questions?
Well, actually, the main reason why I initially started picking on G-Man, because the thing is, when Doug first, you know, was actually technically wasn't when Doug brought it up, but because Dougie, of course, declared war for me after the fact. But, you know, it was actually the person that was like, well, that's kind of racist, person that initially said it in that hangout, and I didn't bother to call him out on it because, you know, I didn't give a shit. Was Mowdy, and at that point I'm like, you know, there are some people that could misinterpret it that way, so fuck it, I'll just drop that one for now.
You know, the next
one of the people that says axe a lot is Dreadnought. He says it.
So in any case, but hang on though. But after that, because you know he's sitting there white knighting G-Man, the dumbest person to white knight, because when you white knight G-Man, G-Man gets pissed at you white knighting him, and rightfully so in some circumstances. But I actually went to G-Man after that, and I said to him, I said, dude, have I ever offended you doing this? And he's like, nah, I don't give a shit. I'm like, okay, cool. So at this point, you're defending somebody that is not offended. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the next time somebody comes up and says, let me ask you a question in the hangout, somebody should have a GIF or like the video ready of, I'm a lumberjack and that's all right.
And that's okay. I sleep all night
yeah.
and I drink all day. Hey, I'm wearing a shirt.
That'd be great. Just like if that just happened, you know, like if G-Man was in a hangout and he said, "Let me ask you a question," and boom,
actually,
I'm a lumberjack. I'm okay.
Actually, the reason why I was giving him shit though wasn't the "let me ask you a question." It was the way that he went about it. He's like, Lee, I just want to ask you. I just want to ask you. And the third time he'd say it, because this was back when I was actually bothering to go into Hangouts with him that he was running. He's like, just let me ask you. Just let me ask you. And I'd cut in and say, just for the sake of the audience, I'd like to point out that what G-Man is saying here is he'd like to ask them something. He's not saying he'd like to hit them with an axe. And this very quickly became a running gag.
Oh, shit.
I was in that Hangout. I'm sure I was.
Oh, yeah. I've done it several times.
There's a few people that have edited that video up a bit too. So,
well, the real kicker is you've said before, Shadow, that you've asked G-Man, do you take offense to me saying, you know,
they're giving you a hard time about it. He's like, I don't give a shit.
In fact, if I remember rightly, wasn't that Hangout the one where when G-Man said that Aspartame was some conspiracy to reduce the population to 500,000 people or something?
No, it was one prior to that.
Or 500 million people?
No, it wasn't that one, no.
Yeah, right.
Can I ask a question?
It was around the time of him claiming that man knew good and evil prior to eating from the tree of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. It was around about the time of that one.
Yeah.
Does anybody own an axe?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
I used to.
And a throwing hatchet too.
Ooh, nice. Always wanted one of those.
Just have an axe available during a hangout. And
I'll pull out the hatchet, go hi, and then be accused of a different kind of racism.
I've got one in Minecraft.
Well, you're Canadian too, so you would have an axe.
Actually,
you're all lumberjacks, and you wear red hats.
Actually, on the note of weird buttons that people can press, though, the taking the piss out of thing that they did this week was actually on shamanism, and they're referring to it as paper shaman or something like that. And they're picking on all the white guys going around claiming to be shamans and this kind of shit. And the thing that got me about it is they're making this like, shamans are Native American and da-da-da-da. And no, they're not. That's actually wrong. The notion of a shaman, it's the village healer. This goes back a lot. This isn't just Native American. This goes back to antiquity throughout all cultures.
I have 5 axes in this little box here. There you go. There's one.
There you go. The Axeman. Yeah.
Well, may I ask you a question then? Okay, bad joke.
Actually, that's what we should do at some point is just as a joke. And I say this because it's one of those things that, because I don't do these kind of videos, I'll never actually do myself. But we should take the Taxman lyrics and change them to the Axeman and do a G-Man video pertaining to it.
Ooh, that would be cool. Everybody loves some Beatles. Phony Beatles.
Sorry, who likes the Beatles?
The song, The Taxman.
Yeah,
I made a Beatles reference.
Said everyone likes the Beatles. I hate the Beatles. I really do.
Not too keen on the Beatles either, but they did do a couple songs that are it's easy enough to move around the words in to make something new out of. But
you may have heard me say this, you may not. But what annoys me about the Beatles isn't the Beatles. It's not the music. It's not the people. It's the fame thing. Because I live in Manchester, and Manchester is only 45 miles away from Liverpool. And the local news covers Manchester and Liverpool. And if anything happens to do with the Beatles, no matter how minor it is, it will be on the local news. No matter how minor.
Look, that's the same in Nova Scotia with Victor.
Ridden hanky that John Lennon might have blown his nose on. That's going to be on the local news.
Hey, Ringo Starr's making
Anne Murray. Ringo Murray and Picto.
Ringo Starr's making tennis shoe commercials in this country, so yeah.
Okay, I've got to derail this for 1 second because I just thought of something that could be fun. What I'll do is I'll grab my wife's throwing axe, and I'm going to actually sit there and take some paint and paint a question mark on it and throw it into a tree and just put that up as a video. Entitle it "Axing a Question."
Yeah, I'll give you an idea of one that happened last week. So, some guy made a rocking horse, a replica of a rocking horse that Paul McCartney played on when he was a child. And he inscripted on it some of the words that the Beatles sang in lyrics. And that Paul McCartney signed it, and then it went to auction. And that was news.
Nice.
The local news. That was
Sir Paul McCartney to you.
fan thing that someone's crafted, and it's like not news, not news. This isn't news. Has anyone died?
Okay,
No,
no. It is newsworthy in a sense, though, because the thing is, the news is free marketing.
Yeah. Well, I give you, it's a kind of non-news that, you know, David Beckham used to play for Manchester United, okay? And in one news article, and it must have been one of those crappy, you know, sort of midsummer ones where...
Actually, the amount of money some idiot paid for something like that at like Christie's auction or something, I think that's newsworthy because you get to giggle at how much some idiot spent up for it.
Well, funnily enough, that was similar to what I'm talking about, the David Beckham thing, where it was on the local news, and like I say, it must have been one of those, like, you know, boring weekdays in the summer when Parliament's out, and so there's no real politics going on, so they've got to fill in stuff. So in the local news, it was that David Beckham had gone and spent £120,000 on, you know, garden furniture for his kids, you know, like a swing set and a slide and stuff like that, and it's like,
aww.
Big bloody deal. He's a rich guy who buys expensive shit. I mean, you know,
he loves his kids, man.
Rich person went and bought a big car. Not news. It's not news. Just because he's famous, it doesn't become news because he went and bought a Porsche. So yeah, just that. The non-news. I hate non-news.
Ditto.
Really
random question. Do I transmit okay in this room?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Okay. Can somebody do me a favor and Google Christie's auction Gutenberg Bible?
Ooh.
Ooh, the Gutenberg.
Yeah, I had the camera off, but I was listening to y'all. It ain't nice of y'all mocking my accent.
What did you want to know? How much it went for?
Yeah, several pages from a Gutenberg Bible went up for auction on Christie's a number of years back. What was the amount?
4.9 million.
4.9 million, yeah.
For what? Like, it was like a page and a half or 2 pages or something like that, I think. It wasn't much, but yeah, it's fascinating how much people will pay for this shit. That, I think, is interesting.
I mean, it is a important artifact of history, but that's about it.
Yeah. And then it goes into some fucking collector's collection instead of going into a, you know, museum or something.
Yeah. Or a place where scholars can look at it.
It's kind of a shame when you think about it.
It is.
Made in 1455.
There's actually a Gutenberg Bible in at the John Rylands Library in Manchester, and I doubt Jason Burns has had a look at it.
So that was authored by the.
Sorry.
Was that authored by the guy out of Police Academy?
If it was, he's going to be a veterinarian.
No, the Gutenberg Bible was the first book printed on an electronic, well, technically electronic, but mechanical printing press.
Yeah, notice it said calf skin cover, too.
How much did they pay for the Gutenberg Bible?
It wasn't. Incidentally, it was a few pages from a Gutenberg Bible, and it was what, 4.3 million? I think you said.
4.2.
4.9. 4.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a link on the side.
But it was the first book ever mass-produced that was actually ever printed on a printing press. Why it was the most readily available.
What is that? The one that people were killed for owning if they weren't aristocracy?
I believe so. I'm not sure though. When they started actually printing the Bible, there was a big hullabaloo about it because the Vatican did not want regular people owning Bibles. And this,
I'm wrong on that.
And some would argue that this led to the Reformation.
Well, actually, I was just thinking to myself, you know, that it's like, yeah, the reason they want to do it is because they'd heard an atheist say, all you need to do to become an atheist is read the Bible.
Yeah, apparently the Catholic Church knew it.
It was William.
In some cases,
Tyndale.
that's true.
You know, as a former Lutheran, I'm surprised they haven't canonized Martin Luther. I actually played Martin Luther in a short skit in junior high school one year for the Reformation. So, yeah.
You do realize, of course, that scholars pretty much agree he didn't literally nail anything to a fucking church door.
Oh my God! No, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
By the way, a point of correction. A point of correction. It was William Tyndale's printing of it. 1530. Oh no, he died 1536. It was the first English translation, and yeah, you could be killed for owning a copy.
Yeah, but that was prior to the printing press, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Well, having my disagreement with Outer Owl, I discovered something amusing, which is Martin Luther was excommunicated from the Catholic Church, but Hitler wasn't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was not atheist.
The Christianity has a long tradition of killing Jewish people. But then again, so did Rome.
If that will be fair, Rome just like killing everybody that wasn't Roman.
Oh, that's true.
And to be Roman just meant that you
didn't stay in one place for a long time.
Well, you agreed to Roman society because it was made up of a mishmash. Yeah, I missed it. I know it's.
However, if you want to actually go to a group that wasn't really that big on killing Christians, that'd be the Nazis. Granted, they were kind of big on killing Jehovah's Witnesses because they're annoying door knockers.
Rome, if you want to roam around the world.
B-52s love it.
Love that song.
Yeah. I don't get Yo-Ho's here anymore. Yay.
Says the Rock
I ran
Lobster.
them off.
If the Jehovah's Witnesses are willing to walk up 3 fucking flights of stairs that I have at my apartment building, and they are more than welcome to come in my house and we'll sit down, chat, smoke a bowl, have a cup of coffee, and discuss religion. But I doubt that's going to happen.
Hello, Church of Jehovah's Witness? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's this guy, Patrick Thatcher. I'd like you to go by and start knocking on his door. He said he'd be more than happy to listen to you. Okay? Next Tuesday. Okay. So that's fine. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Tuesday's fine with me.
Smiley face. Smiley face. Can't forget that.
Yeah, I remember when I first allowed them in, and they were a bit confused because I'm sure they were thinking, "Wait a minute, isn't this a bit where they slam the door in the face?"
And by the way, this is not mocking Jackie. No.
Okay, let's see now. We are approaching the 2-hour mark. Let's
Puppy!
So I should probably see about calling it because I generally try to keep them to about 2 hours. We've had, kind of poor views so far this time around, and we've had some good conversation at least. So it's been kind of fun. But I think it's about time to see about taking it off air. We haven't heard much from you, Christian. So how's it going?
Pretty good, mate. How you going?
Anything you want to bring to the table?
Probably just, did you see that? Have you got Seth Andrews from Thinking Atheists on Facebook?
Yeah.
Did you see his video with the going around reading passages from the Bible, but saying it was a Quran, and the people in the street going, "Oh, that's awful, that's terrible, like that's such a nasty religion," and it's actually.
I haven't actually seen that one yet. I'll have to check into it.
Yeah, I've
heard
heard about it,
people
but I haven't seen it yet. That's pretty wild.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a very good one.
Well, they're both from the same root anyway. They're all the Abrahamics, but
read your Bible and do what it say.
Stone those children. Where's my pipe?
No. Keep caged bears in your truck wherever you go, and when you see children sitting there pointing and laughing at you for street preaching, you open the door and let the she-bear attack.
Big pointy teeth.
I actually worried about Jason Burns the other day because there's been something on the news. After the Paris thing, there's been suggestions that ISIS are going to try and do the same thing in Britain. And where I live is a microcosm of people. You know, it's you know, people from all walks of life. So in the town where I live, I live within like maybe 2-3 minutes walk away from a Pakistani Muslim community, and there's another one on another part of town, and there's a Hindu temple down the road as well. We've got 3 mosques in town, you know. So there's people from all sorts. There's Polish people and Jewish people and, you know, all sorts. Now, radicalized Muslims are going to be in hot spots where there are more Muslims around. So you've got places like Bradford and Manchester that you'll have quite a lot. Somewhere in you know, somewhere like Nottingham, there's a lot more Indian Hindus there. So and then of course in London it's all over the place. But
are they married men? Never mind. Waxley.
But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, if there was going to be one of these terrorist attack kind of things, somewhere like Manchester would be a great place to do it. You know, because they plan these things, and of course, who would they love to kill the most? The preachery people, you know, the Christian street preachers. Gun them down. They're the ones trying to preach their stuff. And made me think, crikey, Jason Burns might be in a pretty precarious situation.
You know, I would hope nothing like that would ever happen. You know, that would be really sad. But it would really suck if Jason Burns was, you know, killed in something like that, and all of a sudden, you know, Britain makes a response and they're saying things like, "Remember Jason Burns?" You know, some kind of battle cry.
No.
Just imagine.
Leroy Jenkins.
He was such a nice guy, and it's like, you've not. Have you ever seen his website?
Yeah. Christianity's new martyr. You know what I mean?
They're playing those videos of him taking his top off and dancing.
I'm sorry, I just, you know, I can just imagine the, you know, the world screams, you know, you'll not win, God.
You'll not win, God.
Cliff, maybe your real calling in life is to warn Jason Burns and make a warning, just make a warning video to him. Contact him and make that plea. Say, you know, look, you're a lolsy guy. You know, we love you. You know, but we don't want to see you
justice
become
for
a
Burns.
martyr.
Comment of the hour.
I have had a number of people give me a hard time for speaking to Jason Burns.
I enjoy it.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, I tried to help him, and there was one time where I gave him shit. And that was only because he failed to take responsibility for his actions, for his big mouth, you know, and that was it. The rest of the time, you know, I tried to help him. I tried to warn him and say, look, this is not going to go well. You know, making videos like that, that's really stupid. You're just going to get laughed at. Put yourself on the battlefield. You know, you're not only putting yourself on the battlefield, you're giving people good ammunition to use against you. The trolls love this kind of stuff, and they will use it against you. I tried to help him.
Thank you.
You know, but he didn't want to listen. He's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, and then he went. You know, he lost it.
By the way, Justice for Burns is sponsored by Polysporin.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Cliff, I mean, you even offered sincerely to get him a computer.
Yeah, well, I mean, what it was like, I know.
And his answer was essentially, you're an atheist, therefore you're evil, so fuck off. It's a diabolical conspiracy.
Well, I think that's what snapped with him, because, you know, I said, the way that worked out was that he met Aaron Ra, and it was all smiles and happiness, and I thought, you know what? Maybe we can ride the wave of this positivity, you know. And I said, I know your computer's broken. Do you want a hand with it? I'm good with computers. I can help you fix it. And he's, oh yeah, that'd be great. Okay, I'll get in contact with you. So then, like that day, Mark Unoya suggested the idea of raising some money for charity, like people had raised money for Eve. You know, Eve when her car broke. that kind of thing. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So I left it a couple of days, and I phoned up Jason, and I said, look, there's been this suggestion. Are you okay with that? Because I wouldn't want to do it, and then you get offended that people are, taking it as a charity thing, something like that, Are you okay with that? And he said, yeah, fine.
And then he decided it was an evil conspiracy.
And then, I started off on the Monday, and by Tuesday, he's like, you're a shower of bastards.
Yeah.
Get lost. And so that it switched to my friend's computer instead, and we had one within 3 hours. In fact, no, it wasn't. It was 50 minutes, actually, if I remember correctly, because it was during Talking Shit Tuesday. By the time Talking Shit Tuesday was done, it had been paid for. The minimum amount. And I left it running overnight, and then by the next day, it had gone up another 100 quid, and I thought, I've got to stop it, because otherwise she's going to end up having a supercomputer or something. She doesn't need, a sort of shit hot.
We don't need an Alienware Area 51, thank you very much.
Yeah.
No $25,000 computer for you.
Yeah, she's only using it for going on the internet, for crying out loud. She's not going to be, gaming or. She can barely see the screen.
Well, she can use the money for the license fee. Or is that just with TV?
TV. Yeah, just TV.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, see, Jason probably figured out that you were going to put the evil atheist bug inside of that computer so that all the atheists would know everything that he did.
Put in some kind of strange... Yes, you're going to put some software on there so we can all hack into his computer and look through his camera at him when he's getting dressed and go hee, and
you tried to fool him, and he called you on it, man. He's smart, man.
That was one of the things.
The bad visions.
Justice for Jason, man.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I wasn't going to build it for him. The plan was to go to Amazon or some local computer firm that puts stuff together for people, and I was going to do that because that way he can't accuse anybody of touching it.
Well, if you look after you purchase a computer, there's the little buttons you can push for little accessories like extra memory and things like that. If you'll scroll down just a little bit towards the bottom, it's small, but there's a little box there that says "Evil Atheist Bug, $4.99."
42.
I watch somebody go to fucking Amazon and see if that really happens.
Well, incidentally, on that note, I am actually going to see about calling it now. And for those of you that are out there in chat world, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Once again, like, share, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. However, before I actually close it out, let's see if we have any closing comments. Lobster.
Bye.
Hang on. Lobster, closing comments. Any?
It's not real maple syrup. Check out my new video.
Okay. Para.
If you can shove a pencil up your ass and sharpen it, you're wound too tight.
Heavy Holler.
What he said.
Okay. Well, let's move on from the pencil sharpeners down to Cliff Jumper.
I have a homeopathic cure for gullibility. Anybody want to buy some?
Yes.
And down to the end of the line, Christian.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Justice for Jason!
And just as a quick reminder, now that we actually do, for the moment, have an Aussie in the room, which we haven't had one in quite a bit of a while, this is just a quick reminder that people like Christian are proof that there are Australians that are not as batshit crazy as people like Bosley. And on that note...
Oh, well, don't know about that. Show us your tits.